All right, here we are with Star Wars: Spiders and Snakes, a Fellowship story. Wait, damn it! No, it's spiders and it's Fellowship, Spiders and Snakes, a Star Wars story. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, season 1, episode 4. We are in, I want to say, March 2021, and I am Devin playing the Empire framework. And to my internet, we have
Adam playing Lamnar, Kaminoan with the Spider Playbook.
Jack playing Kess Eldar, a Mandalorian using the Elf playbook.
Jonathan playing 93, who's a battle droid, using the Squire playbook.
And Peter as Void within and without, a given abyssal nemesis.
perfect. The name of this episode is No Windows, No Clocks. So, gang, who would like to briefly recap in an accurate way what you guys did last session?
We survived.
We did.
That's true.
We finally got off of Hoth, and we collected General Kalani and most of the Mandalorians who were there.
Yeah,
and,
most.
Yeah, we've started to set up our rebellion against the spiders and snakes.
Yeah. We just did a big smash and grab.
Like a couple episode long smash and grab. That
You
cost
also-
us almost all of our resources.
Yeah, we activated a lot of silent alarms.
Yes. And you also, and you met 2 of the 3 leaders. You met Torapano and Maul. You also traded Maul some fossilized demon blood.
For him to not, try to murder us at our weakest.
Doing such a great fight. But imagine if you had won.
I mean, that would be excellent, but also, oh my god.
Perfect.
He is
All
so
right.
beautiful.
Yeah, it would not have been a rough fight because he had people with him. So, to start this game off, we're going to start with a long journey, and we're going to dive right into it because we kind of already sketched out a bit what our scenes are going to look like. So, hot on the heels of what happened on Hoth, we cut to the fleet in orbit for the Spider and Snakes Alliance, and Void, the last thing you did was go into your quarters, right, after that meeting?
Yep.
So presumably you're going to exit because, people are going to start to go into hyperspace. Stuff's about to happen. When you open your door, there's a bunch of those curse-eaten soldiers there. Maul's personal troop with horns coming out of parts of their bodies because they're poorly made. And Maul's there, leaning against the door frame when you walk on out. Just being cash.
Maul. What brings you here?
I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
As to stabbing one another, as per usual?
No, my apprentice. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is limitations, and I'm also talking a bit about, rationality and not biting off more than you can chew. Structure, that's another thing. So, talk with me. Are you walking with him?
Yeah, I'm walking.
By now, you must know that out of this alliance, the only 2 people that really have their head on their shoulders, and he smiles, is you and me, right?
I suppose so.
Mm-hmm. Now, look, I know what it's like. You've been betrayed by the Empire. You've been, harmed, cast aside. You're looking for power. You're looking to strike back. I get it. I've been there. I've done this before. So have they, except I'm above it now. They're not. They're still in the middle of it. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to make mistakes. They're going to betray the people closest to them. And they're definitely going to bite off more than they can chew because they don't know how to pace themselves and they haven't set boundaries. I don't think you and I are like that, though, right?
Well, I can only speak for one person here.
As well you should. What I want to put forward is this. A lot of the things that are happening here are spiraling out of control. We're bringing in too many extra people. We're spreading ourselves too thin. Eventually, the Empire is going to find out about us, and they're going to wipe out probably everyone but me. And a chosen few that play it smart. And that's really what I'm here about today. I just want to let you know that your master knows things, I'm sure. But before he knew things, I was there. I was the original person who knew things. I was the original right hand of power. So maybe while we're just going off and doing our own separate things, you should just consider who you'd want to learn your unspeakable power from. Do you want to learn it from someone who's gotten a bit ahead of themselves? Or do you want to learn from someone who's already at the end and doing victory laps?
Well, not sure who to cast my vote with here.
Voting's for Republicans. We're not talking about voting. I'm just asking you to choose you. Choose yourself. Choose the good options here, the opportunities presented before you. Don't get caught up in some insane revenge plot with some sort of headless ex-diplomat. Definitely don't get caught up in the unbalanced, rage-fueled panic of a small child still reeling from the death of everyone they ever loved. Pick me. I'm older. I've gone through this. I've seen this. Together, you and I could be powerful.
So what's your revenge plot here?
I don't want a revenge plot. I'm interested in seeing the Empire fall. I agree a bit with Tora's perspective that inevitably the Republic will come back. But I understand my old master. I understand him well. He's a powerful creature. And things like that inevitably draw in stuff that'll depose them. Now, if that's going to be us, well, that means we have a larger chunk of the galaxy to slice up, right? But what if it's not us? What if something just occupies his time forever, like that little Rebel Alliance? What if that Rebel Alliance got stronger, more spread out? What if it got more allies in that supposed Senate? What if that ate up his time? While we, you and I, carved up the parts of the galaxy no one else is really paying attention to.
That seems a good strategy to just divide the big opponent. So they can't.
Exactly. See, I'm not here to drive a burning starship into the heart of my old master, screaming from hell's heart, I stab a thief. I'm just here to make sure that I live at the end, and I've lived every single time. You want to see how many of my old master's apprentices have lived? You should check into that, because not a lot of them do, but I did. I faced him multiple times, and I'm still here. That's because I'm playing both sides. And you should too. Not with me, though. Master and apprentice will hang out. I'm not looking to replace anyone. I'm just looking to make sure I have someone who has my back. I like having someone who has my back. That could be you. We could split the galaxy up.
Well, I'm not saying no.
Just keep yourself safe. There are insane things going on right now. That Pano child is off doing a project for your master right now, actually. They have a thing they've located that they're bringing in, some sort of abomination, to join our little triumvirate, so we have a sixth member. Yeah.
How are you keeping yourself busy?
I have my own project I'm attending to. See, I used to be a bit of a crime lord back in the day, and I still sort of am. I'm running an operation on Nar Shutta for us that'll get us access to some of the best and brightest of the scum of the galaxy. I could always use a bit of assistance.
Well, I don't have any active projects right now, so might as well go to that crime planet.
He's walking to a hangar, and in the hangar there's a large, stone and metal archway that you can see cabling and power's been plugged into with runes on it. Oh, that's good. Why don't we go now? As it powers on.
Sure.
So you guys walk through the threshold, and the camera pans. It'll pan sideways as you guys walk into one side, and keeps panning as once it crosses the stone of the arch and blocks the camera briefly. The other side is you're on Nar Shutta, the kleptocracy, the kleptocratic moon of Nar Shutta, or whatever it's called, and you see that you're in basically an underground base that has windows and mirrors showing the outside world and screens. because you have instant travel, because that's how your empire functions.
Source of power, so useful.
Maul notices that you seem kind of pleased or impressed with what just happened. It's like, sometimes, my apprentice, you just need to take a leap of faith. And he'll allow you to leave his place on Narsha so you can like mingle and schmooze around on the planet.
Sure, I guess I'll go out.
Yeah, you get a call after you leave his place from your master, Steelhead, on your comm.
I answered it like all this time.
Ah, my apprentice. Good of you to pick up. I just wanted to confirm that you have your eyes on our little Rebel Alliance issue.
Don't worry, my master. I have my best man on the job.
And we'll star wipe to 93 Stitch. What's happening? Set a scene for us.
How are you embarrassing me?
So like 93 has a data pad or data what? A
Data
tower.
pad.
Yeah, it has a data pad, and they're like, Novak is a specialist with this section, and Vevet is very good with is keeping watch. Gez is in this sector, and Mirta. Oh no! And then immediately, 4 children, just like, or like lasers are hitting him. He's like, ah! But they're like low powered lasers, and then there's like 4 kids, and like an adult comes over, and they're like, "Good job, Novak," because like he's not keeping tabs of like notes of people. He's just trying to figure out where these kids might be. It's this whole thing. It's adorable. The viewers love it.
Are you playing laser tag with these children?
Yes.
Maybe.
Well, so it cuts to like 30 seconds before. They're like, battle droids it's a battle droid, so maybe it'll be good with like teaching the kids how to. It'll be like easy mode for them, but everybody has to start somewhere. And then they're all like, "Oh no, it's as bad as we remember."
It's so much stupider than we thought.
War flashbacks.
I mean, not for my guy. My guy's never experienced war until Hoth.
You got those memories deleted.
Yeah.
All right, so you're ambling about in, I'm assuming, Kyanite Command with a bunch of Mandalorian children.
Mhm.
Did I can't remember where I've described the Mandalorians in what game anymore, because this has become so confusing, but I've described that the Mandalorian children don't wear the bucket helmets, right?
Yeah.
They have their faces covered, but they're all like wrapped in like cloth and like clothing and stuff. And maybe goggles if we want to be fun for some of them.
Mm-hmm. Like, parents are there because they're like, let's see how this turns out.
Yeah. What you notice rapidly about the Seekers of the Prophet Mandalorian chapter house is they're huggers. They hug a lot.
Oh.
It seems to be their thing, and that's not even like a joke. That's an established character trait for these Mandalorians. That's how they greet people. They hug.
Okay. 93 hugs back.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like you got me. It like falls over, and then there's like a big pylon.
Pylon. Oh, I heard pylon, like a giant spire. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, a pylon is built, and now I'm summoning in a building. Get ready for my dragoon.
Oh god. So yeah, kids are swarming around, having fun. I guess you've knocked over crates and boxes in the base to like act as 2-meter high walls for cover.
Yeah.
Chest high walls.
Chest high walls, like blankets covering other sections, and you're not supposed to go through the blankets, but they do anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, it's a kid thing. Everyone's having fun. It's all pretty relaxed. The adults here are having a good time. Just people are hanging out. Who else wants to be here?
Who wants a bond? Who wants me to be able to heal them?
Assholes.
I'm probably observing from the side just because,
I
here
can.
to watch the little Mandalorians train.
I'll probably also be in there, and I just like shooting, like using my basically Spider-Man webbing to shoot out threads to just trip kids up or to give them ropes to climb on.
Nice.
At every opportunity, 93 like finds to like get tangled in the web that you shot like at the kid. It's a mess. It's 93 is a battle droid, but it's just not working out.
It's slapstick. Oh no! It's a George Lucas slapstick scene, and it's not appropriate for this movie.
It also goes. It just lasts way too long.
Right?
It completely breaks the flow of the plot.
I know.
But like in the
Kids love it.
meantime of it though, it's like like 93 is learning, and like old processes are just like slowly awakening, and there does actually come to a point where like one of the kids is like ha ha, and like has like the laser rifle pointed, and it just does one of those like things where it snatches the gun and just reverses it. And
everyone's clapping, even the kid.
yeah, like in any other movie,
these are battle children.
Yeah, in any other movie or any other scene, it'd be like, oh no, the robot's doing a dangerous thing, but they're all like, hey, cool.
Right? You taught a kid a very important lesson. The kid's like, when I get my blaster rifle, I'm going to put a tether on it.
It's important to remember that these guns are ranged weapons. Take advantage of that.
It's like in Supernatural where that one German guy or whatever, it's like, why don't Sam and Dean simply put a tether on their guns so they don't get constantly taken away? And Sam and Dean are like, oh, we should do that.
I think they do at some point.
Never. That's the easiest way for them to lose their weapons. There's no way the writers would do that to themselves. Do you think they want to make their jobs harder? They have to write for Supernatural.
Poor bastards.
The show should have ended in season 4, but they keep giving us money.
They managed to push that show for 15 seasons because they figured out the key core loop. Bring back a former villain as a hero and have to fight them again the next season.
I mean, I'm glad Supernatural went 87 seasons. It's better this way than the original nice short 5-season thing because no one would have talked about it. People would talk endlessly about how it should have gone longer. And you know what? It did. And everyone got what they deserved and what they wanted anyway.
Yeah. And I'm glad that all of those actors got work.
Yeah. That bought Jaron Ackles a house.
Yeah, like, it should have ended earlier, but, like, it's fine. Like, I stopped watching it, but other people didn't. It's fine. I'm glad that stuff happened.
Jaron Ackles is how I pronounced one or both of their names, by the way.
I think they may have put them together. I'm not sure. It's been a minute.
Right? All right, so it's a fun little scene. Who wants to build bonds with the goddamn battle droid?
I'm building bonds with both of you. Like, you're both here.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm reverse using my ability. I'm using my ability to be wherever you are.
You're powering so much. Should be one person.
I don't know. I was probably giving the kids like little tactical tips or whatever. It's like, no, go around that side or whatever. No, they're
Nice.
kids. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly. The parents are there. They appreciate it. They're talking with you guys about like what chapter Jack is from and stuff. Wait, is it Jack? No, it's Lamnar. No, it's Cass Eldar. Damn it! It's goddamn Zencaster.
You had it half right the first time.
Well, I can never see the goddamn names anymore because of how Zencaster does its thing. Because Zencaster's UI update sucks.
Yeah, I hate this.
Why did you try to make this zoom?
Ugh, I know, right? Come on, Zencaster. You were so close.
It's like when Skype was like, I need to be more like Discord. And I'm like, you're not Discord. You'll never be Discord.
Slack literally bought, apparently, the layout for Discord for Slack. Like, they bought the rights for it for a dev kit.
They have the exact same layout, which I helped my parents figure out, which I could because I use Discord. I'm like, oh, this is super easy because it's the same. It's the exact same.
All right. Well, now we'll transition to who wants to go next.
I can.
All right, set the scene for us.
All right. So as part of the recent out of character level up that we did, I am going to be receiving my jetpack. So I think if I remember correctly, did we picked up the armor? Was one of the people that we saved, right? Or
you could just say you did.
I think we did, but I'm going to say we did either way.
Yeah, we saved the armor.
So like I'm probably working with them, and also like I have Wayfarer and Mesla. The companions I currently have are probably here too, because it's a whole like ceremony thing.
Okay. And like, the Mandalorians from the Prophet chapter are here because they're all here for you getting your, what are they called? Phoenix Ascension?
I think so.
Peter, you know this instantly.
Rising Phoenix?
Rising Phoenix.
Yes. So yeah, you're getting your Rising Phoenix honors, like you're a goddamn tactical Marine. So like there's a bunch of people there. There's like chanting. Well, there's not really chanting. No, they don't chant. They do like they would have their Scald, but their Scald was captured by Maul. So the backup. So the backup's basically like telling oral stories and like the hero quests they used to do about the Rising Phoenix, Pete.
Sounds right.
Okay. Yeah, about the Rising Phoenix and the story of it, and how the Mandalorians will one day conquer the galaxy and everything.
Mandalorians will rise again.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. And yes, you get your Phoenix Ascension honors as they install it onto your armor and stuff, and like mark up your chest plate and your helmet, and like integrate the circuitry into it, so it's part of your HUD and your flight control system.
Yep. Yeah, my shiny new jetpack. Well, that's probably not shiny because I actually paint my armor.
Yeah, it can be shiny. It can be both. You can have shiny paint.
That's true.
It's the opposite of matte.
They will be glossy.
There it is. So yeah, in that scene, is there anything specifically you want to do or have done?
I'm trying to think specifically. I'm not sure. Like, I'm probably, there might be a little bit after where I'm talking a little bit with Wayfarer specifically about like the differences about how it might have gone down at my home chapter as opposed to here.
Oh yeah, Wayfarer talks a lot about his chapter. Like, they used to be doing really well. Like, they used to have like a much more expansive and nice space, but just years of being on lockdown, basically, and collapsing tunnels, like, made them live a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
But they've always been extremely into doing like the old oral traditions and the old cultural, like the art side of their culture. Like, they love that stuff. It's their whole deal at this point. And yeah, they're not as functional biased as like a lot of the other chapters are. Like, a lot of the other Mandalorian chapters are all about like just pumping up those numbers and getting like their strength back. The prophets are a little more ethereal, especially now that their prophecy is true and them following Mandalore the prophet was vindicated. He was right. The Jedi destroyed themselves.
We were right all along.
They did do that. I don't know if I established which side of the divide of the prophet is a heretic or the prophet was right that my chapter fell on.
Yeah, depends on what you kind of view, because they followed the last true Mandalore the prophet. A lot of chapters follow the one before him, Mandalore the Conqueror, but really, from a galactic point of view, the Mandalorians did stop hunting the Jedi, and even Queen Satine on Mandalore only had one Jedi prison left. So like, it feels like the prophet ones were on the right side of history as far as like Mandalorian culture is concerned. They're just probably viewed as like a weird part of the religion, and then when like Queen Satine died and Maul took over Mandalore, they like doubled down and became like actual like traveling errant knights. Mm-hmm. And then the Jedi all died and they doubled down again.
Just keeps doubling down.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, like, in the background of you getting your jetpack, like, 93 was just there, like, yay!
There's a battle droid watching.
Yeah. Nobody notices.
Yeah. And yeah, the prophet Mandalorians, they're apologetic that it's not quite the right ceremony it should be, because they don't have the Scald, the Librarian, the Heavy, like their leader. Like, they're missing most of their leaders at this point. I think they only have the Doctor and the Engineer, or the Armorer.
It was the Armorer and the Healer, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Armorer and the Doctor are here, but they're missing the other three. So it's like, it's just not the same without them. The Scald actually was really tuned into like the types of hero quests they could put you on to let you emulate, to like make it everything it could be. So that's really the kind of focus of that. It's like, there's just parts missing without them.
Yeah. And Gez is very like, he's still very, even with apologizing, he's still like grateful, because the chapter he's from, I believe I named the Sojourners, and their whole shtick is that they just kind of live exclusively on ships right now, because Mandalore is made of glass, and until they can reclaim their home, they're not going to settle on a different planet.
That's cool. Yeah, they understand that. They get the idea of being part of the diaspora. Is that the term?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of roam, not quite a fleet, but they stay close.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, you can form bonds with your companions over that for sure. You guys just touch base, get to know each other again. Cool. All right, so I think that puts us to Lamnar.
So we know that our next objective is going to be on the planet of Nar Shaddaa. Yeah. So I am trying to get in contact with
the kleptocratic utopia of Nar Shaddaa.
Crime world. So, I have a list of old contacts from the Clone War, which includes former clone troopers that, after they were retired, went on to mercenary work because what else are they going to do? They have to pay for their medical bills somehow. So I'm just trying to. I plan to go to Nar Shaddaa and look up my old contacts there and hire them for the follow-up mission, which will be rescuing the prisoner Mandalorians.
Excellent. So how do you want that to look? So you guys pack up. You understand that the Empire is now, like, not the Empire, but the Spider and Snake Alliance is on Nar Shaddaa doing stuff. You got intel from it because you got your rebellion up and running and are able to start doing, like, contact traces. Probably you reaching out to those clone troopers. What did it's like? Yeah, we've seen these guys here. And you're like, they're there on Nar Shaddaa. The fuck? I guess we could have roleplayed that, but I kind of just thought of it off the top of my head. So that gave you a good reason to pack up and go there to try and strike back at the Alliance, I'm guessing, right, gang?
Yeah.
Now, yeah, we scene swipe to Nar Shaddaa, which means I should set the scene for what Nar Shaddaa looks like, right? So Nar Shaddaa is a large moon orbiting a gas giant, orbiting twin suns. Please write that down and remember that, because I'm not going to remember that. It also has several other moons, because gas giants are just lousy with moons. It just happens that way. And the gas giant itself has, like, orbital stations and, like, planetoids that have been artificially put into low orbit or just, like, hanging out on some of its, like, gaseous surface. Like Cloud City would be a good example of that, actually. So the system that Nar Shaddaa is in around that gas giant is just chocked full of life. The actual moon itself is a jewel of, like, bright lights, neon spires, large temple complexes dominate the horizon, like huge temples to the living god masters of Nar Shaddaa, the Hutts. And yeah, you guys fly in. There's, of course, an endless amount of bribery and corruption you guys have to work your way through before you're even allowed to land. Who are y'all taking with you to Nar Shaddaa?
I'm taking Meathead. Going to reunite him with some of his brothers.
Perfect. Who else?
I'm bringing Mesla and Wayfarer because we're going to try to spring the Mandalorians while we're here.
Yes. Oh,
look at
right.
me.
Right.
I don't have any companions.
Yeah, right. I'm used to the other game where everyone has like 30.
Yeah.
Lest we forget.
Oh, just wait. Just wait.
So, your contact is in the province of Golden Spice, which is just an area of Nar Shaddaa where there's a lot of trade, commerce, and entertainment. Like every part of Nar Shaddaa. So what would this be in? Would this be like a dark alley? Would this be a tea house? Would this be a casino? Maybe a gambling ring, fight circle, a pod racing track?
Yeah, I think we can go to a pod racing track. Just like get a little booth while we're seeing the vehicles racing around the loops.
There's a racetrack in, I believe, I can't remember if it's Cloverdale or Surrey back in British Columbia, but it's used in like Psych and a bunch of other like Canadian filmed American TV shows. It actually has like a curved inward viewing area where the bar restaurant is onto the track itself, so you kind of can look down at it on an angle when you're eating. I imagine it's a setup like that, but more spacey and a little bit farther away and safer, so that the pods, when they inevitably freaking detonate, don't like crash into the stands.
That's what the shields are for.
Right? But safety first. There's a lot of railings and stuff everywhere on Nar Shaddaa. A lot of unnecessary safety features.
Well, yeah, lawsuits.
The one place in the galaxy.
Yeah. It's like, why is it like this? I don't fucking know.
Because us slats are really fast people.
I feel like there's just because of the way that it is, there's just a lot of sheer drops.
Yeah.
That just don't have on other planets that, are natural.
Aren't Coruscant?
Like somebody built this, and so they're like, yeah, of course we put a handrail there. Why wouldn't we? That's insane.
If we were to take some of the canon from the other game into context, the implication with Coruscant is that it has an alien supercomputer in its core that manages the entire planet's city building to the point that there's like root-style ore foundries at the planet's surface that are pushing the skyscrapers up like hair follicles, and that's why they don't have any safety at all, because it's just automated and no one's ever told it to. So maybe that's why Nar Shaddaa does have safety railings. Maybe because it was actually designed community.
This is really just like this is what happens with the free market.
Yeah, the
You get
invisible
an-
hand of the market run
Yeah,
by
they-
living
What?
Yeah,
They
the
can't
invisible-
milk their customers out of all their money if their customers trip and fall and die.
Exactly. The invisible hand of the market provides once again and provides safety railings, workers' wages, rights, safe working conditions, all of it.
Whoa! Let's not get crazy.
Your worth is determined by your sacrifices.
There it is.
All in the name of Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. So you're sitting around a table and you're waiting for clones to show up, and you got Meathead there.
Yes, yeah, Meathead, being a giant clone trooper, was just sitting beside me, and I just turned to him and I asked, "Are you excited to see your brothers again?"
Yeah.
93 is also there, but
There it is.
the voice actor was busy that day, so like it's being quiet in this scene.
I look up I look up my contact, what regiment he served with.
Oh God, I don't know, man.
No,
You tell me.
Okay, he served with the
Commander
100
O'Lore.
he served with the 182nd. Like,
Sure.
did you? I tell that to Meathead. I'm like, "Guys, do you know any of these? Did you serve with them at any point?"
I don't remember.
I'm sure they'll know.
I'll command lore on him, and I'll say that one of them did serve with him, and when they recognize him, it's going to be real sad because oh boy, what happened to Meathead?
Yeah, he's a monster.
Wow.
But they're going to be like, that's definitely that guy. What happened?
Sorry, guys, I got way more literal.
So a serving droid walks on up. Would any of you like refreshments?
Do droids drink? I don't.
No, you don't. You're a
Yeah,
robot.
some
okay.
oil.
Yeah.
Hence, we don't serve. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They're kind
I say yes, and I just get myself a drink, something mildly alcoholic.
Yeah, no, you get what they give you, which is the only drink of the house. Orange Fermented Fizzy Drink.
I still drink it.
Yeah. It's fizzy and it tastes like the color orange.
This is somehow more awful than I thought it would be. Yet I still want to drink more.
The droid comes by and puts its hand out, and its hand has a coin slot in it.
I take out a coin and put it in there.
So the coin you take out has the profile of a hut on it, and it has hut language on it that says literally your worth is determined by your sacrifices. On the other side, it says living gods or something something blasphemous. As you have the currency of Nar Shaddaa for this province. Because every province on Nar Shaddaa has its own currency. And it's not really currency. That's not solely what this is. The huts are living gods on Nar Shaddaa, and they bestow favors on the peasants, and those favors can be turned into physical tokens, and those tokens can be abstracted as like electronic deductible thing. So every establishment that takes certain currencies from certain huts, you can just use their tokens there, because this is just a long form Chuck E. Cheese metaphor.
I have enough tokens for some food if you want some.
I want orange.
All right, get him some orange. I say to the robot.
One jug of orange for the big man. Walks away. And eventually some clones filter in. It's obvious they're clones. They all look identical. They're wearing casual clothes. They're not here to murder. Is Meathead wearing casual clothes, or is he ensconced in clone trooper armor?
Can he take his armor off?
Yeah, he can take most of it off.
Yeah, he's wearing casual clothes as well.
Perfect. I think one of his arms is a droid arm, because otherwise it's a machine gun. I don't remember how I designed Meathead anymore.
It was definitely a machine gun arm. I remember it well.
Right? So yeah, the clones walk on up and wave. Hey, Doc.
I was a mechanic, not a doctor.
Whatever you say, Doc. Oh, by the maker, look at this guy. Soldier,
Yeah.
size up. And Meathead gets up and stands as tall as he can. It's look at the size of him.
Yeah, this was Meathead.
They're
You
CT blah blah blah.
Yeah, you might recall him from the war.
Ah, yeah, hit your growth spurt, I guess. They're all kind of like looking at him, punching him in the shoulder a bit, pushing him a bit. One of them's climbing on his back. It's like it's standing on his shoulders. So, that's new. What are you all up to here?
Well, look, I just look around, see sure no one's paying us more undue attention than we're actually drawing with a giant clone trooper and a bunch of other clone troopers around. And I just lean forward and I'm like, Maul. We're
They kind of look at each other. You mean that Mandalore guy?
yeah, the one that took over Mandalore.
Twice, one of them says.
Yep. He's part of a new organization that's stirring some shit, causing problems.
Was he ever a separatist? One of them says. No, he didn't command no clankers. He was a Jedi killer. Really? Yeah. Remember, he took over Mandalore. He killed that Jedi's friend, the Queen of Mandalore. It's like, were they always just friends? Yeah, they were just friends. Jedi don't do that. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So we want to what? We're here to assassinate that guy.
Well, he's kidnapped some Mandalorians. His group kidnapped some Mandalorians. So we're trying to rescue them.
And they're here?
Yep.
Huh. A lot of that going around. A lot of power struggles happening with the crime families.
Oh, what do you mean?
There have been some changes. Some going to ground. Some joining up with this Spider and Snakes Alliance. It's a mercenary band that's been traveling through some of the systems.
That's the group that Maul's working for. Or leading.
They're backed by a Red Blade. Huh. That explains some things. All right. Now we're down for it. But this isn't the Clone Wars no more. The Republic's not really fielding us with hardware. If you could scare up some money, we could hit the prize booth here on Nar Shaddaa and stock up.
Yeah, I reach down in my pockets and take out one of my fine silks and strange artifacts for trade as a precious item.
Yeah, they'll take it. Yeah, we know a vendor. We can trade this in for tokens.
Yeah.
All right. You got yourself some clones clones at your service. Happy to serve.
Good to have you again.
Welcome to the table, or to the club.
Oh wow, that clanker's not stuffed. I thought it was like a prop.
No, he talks no matter how much you might not want him to.
One of them looks over. Is that an unit?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm the medical droid here to help.
All right, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just getting old. Yeah, you're pretty old. You're like what, 25 now? I'm almost dead. I'm almost dead, probably.
When was the last time you boys got some medical patches, or got patched up?
Here and there. Medical services are free on Nar Shaddaa if you pay enough tokens at the casinos. They comp you.
Really?
Yeah.
Have to give that a try sometime.
That's fantastic. You just kind of, you put some money down, you live in the casino, you do some security for them. They love it.
Good to know.
They all kind of nod. All right, let's get the Hut Special. And they all sort of reading the Hut Special, which is Orange Fermented Fizzy Drink, what is clearly wings and was clearly pizza. Yeah, they'll just sit down and eat with you guys. They'll just hang out. And they'll give you the story, which is where we'll transition to as the voiceover happens to the main plot of the session. So you are in one of those temple, those kind of giant temple castle complexes. It's its architecture is like Hershey's Kiss kind of shapes, rounded with spikes coming out of it. Kind of I don't know, there's pictures of old style Russia castles that are like palaces or czar palaces. I don't know anything about anything, so I'm begging you, listener, to just try and figure it out.
It's. Are you looking for opulence?
Not opulence, just weird styles of architecture you don't usually see in a straight angle sci-fi setting.
Yeah,
So, those kind of
make sense.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And they're like brightly lit and colored. They have gemstones and stained glass on the outside of them, and like force fields making weird stuff like pools suspended above ground with people swimming in them, and it's the force field itself that's suspending them, so it takes weird shapes and is multicolored. You know,
Oh, yeah, we're talking like just random themed casino hotel, just like
Yeah.
plopped right in the middle of a metroplex.
Yeah. But every building's kind of like this, and just that it also includes like preacher mega church design as well. As like you enter in, and it's a giant casino that has like hundreds of rows of pews that have like gambling terminals in front of them, so that people can kneel down and gamble and pray to the huts. And like there's a preacher / a pit boss who's telling people it's like today only life day, 50% off tokens. Give all you have. Your worth is determined by your sacrifices.
Hey, we should probably take them up on that. It's 50% off. That's a good deal.
It's a pretty good deal.
I'm
And
imagining like stained glass windows, but like they're backlit.
and they have like animations on them, like they're neon signs. Like it's stained glass and neon sign smashed together. So you are at the palace of Gorgon the Hutt. She's one of the major power players in the province you're currently in, which is called, just remind myself, the province of Golden Spice. She's colored like purple and red and black, like actual tattooing. She wears like jewelry and finery and has like tiaras and stuff on her head and hands, like just decked out. And you guys have basically made it known that you're problem solvers, and the Hutts appreciate problem solvers. So the scene is she's on a giant Shea lounger that's made of, I don't know, Wookiee fur, stuffed Ewoks, eagle beaks, whatever you want. You know, there's portraits everywhere, and she's just like not openly weeping, but just kind of her eyes are teared up. She has 3 of them with one big one in the middle, and she's just kind of dabbing her eyes with a large tapestry depicting the many victories of the Hutts over all life because they killed their god in their mythology when they ate their son, like the sun that their old system used to belong to.
Yeah, that checks out.
They got a
Yeah.
new system with 2 sons. It's better.
That was the old Nar Shaddaa. This is the new Nar Shaddaa. Please let me go home to my family.
Your worth is decided by your sacrifice.
Never forget.
Was
Never
this
forget
assaulted?
that.
Right? Oh, anyway, so Gorgon is just being like, I hear that all of you are specialists, with like a booming voice, and all 3 eyes are glowing like bright yellow and white with power, because all the Hutts do that, all of them. They have like a deep like echo voice that sounds like a demon.
Yes.
Exactly like in Stargate.
I have the sunglasses filtered down on inside my helmet. Is the light?
Droid puts a hand over its head, like it's like in a kind of a salute, kind of a shielding its non-existent eyes motion. That's right.
I think I got some sunglasses just in case. Everything's just too shiny and blingy.
Right? Oh yeah, and everything has been like polished and chromed with fine grit, so everything bounces off. It's that polished level where the reflection of light shine is actually starting to correspond into rainbows, like that kind of polish, where like starts to actually split the light. It's a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot happening here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we that's right. We are specialists.
Perhaps then you could help this sad, pitiful, malevolent god.
Wait, did she use the word malevolent?
Yeah,
She's
she knows
my
what
first
Okay. Okay, that's fair.
she knows what it's about, son.
She wears her alignment on her wrist, fin.
She has
Flip.
hands just like on that cover of Dune that George Lucas ripped this off of. But she also has like a harness of like polished gold and chrome and Beskar on her back that like gives her other sets of like long telescoping graspers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perhaps
Give
we
me-
can. What did you have
give
in
me-
mind?
I know why you're here. You're looking to overthrow that crime organization that is set up on our humble utopia. But I can't help you. No one can. My power is only limited to this humble cathedral of prosperity you see before you. I have no real influence among the crime families of Nar Shaddaa, only among its theocracy. It was my son that had the real reins of power.
Perhaps we could speak with him?
Was, she cries, bellowing, shaking things. He's been taken away, and I don't know where, but I know who. These criminals, these ne'er-do-wells. They absconded with him. They took him from his home, from his bed. She gestures to one of the towers outside that's like a giant tower full of like security and like weapons.
And also a blasted hole in the side.
Yeah, they're patching that up with gold.
These people sound horrible.
It was a terrible man, red and black, with spikes from his head, half robot.
Oh, we hate that guy.
Oof.
He says that we have to give up and go back under his heel. He's Maul, by the way. If you don't know him, he's Maul. We know him because he once conquered this planet a little bit ago. But anyway, if you know him, you know he's Maul. I was being poetic. He says that he won't give my son back, and indeed will kill him if we don't bend the knee, which isn't a metaphor that works in this situation, but he said it.
It's rather rude of him.
Yeah.
That's very legist of
on
him.
both counts.
Yeah, it sounds like something he would do.
I, of course, can't act against him, or he'll kill the hostage, my dear son. Chevron laser react.
Well, it sounds like you could use some specialists then.
I'm going to spell that out. So, if anyone here lives in the Star Wars universe, you would recognize the name Chevron Laser. It's the name of one of the most famous holovid stars that ever lived. He went missing kind of in the middle of the Clone Wars. There's no follow-up to that. It just means this woman named her son after her favorite actor. Like, much like in Adult Swim, that Tim and Andy or whatever, Tim and Eric, Timothy Heidecker named his son Tom Cruise Jr.
You know what? That tracks for everything I know about this person. This Hyde. It's completely in character. Continue.
Right?
Yeah, we're not even surprised.
Right?
Yeah, Chevron Laser React. Yeah, that's a perfectly normal name.
Well, if you need to know the reason for the name, React was the name of the Melty Blood re-release, and I like Melty Blood. That's it. That's the justification.
Fair enough.
I almost called him after the last release of Melty Blood they did, Actress Again, Final Tuned. But I physically couldn't put it to paper. Like, I tried, and my body stopped.
Devin, no!
Your fan would not type.
That might be her next offspring.
Yeah, the next time I introduced... In the previous game, there was Chevron Laser Alpha and Chevron Laser Prime, and they both claimed to be that actor, and they were both so good at acting, they had magic powers from it in different ways. One was a holistic actor, one was a psychic assassin, so there you go.
Well,
their acting gave them force powers.
Good for them.
To their credit, they're a really good actor. Like, if you guys have ever seen the Holo vids, you really like their movies. There's just something about him. He's just a great actor. He's compelling. He does his own stunts.
See, guys, if you let your Maul take this little child, you might run into some more Chevron lasers.
Child? I'm assuming someone said that. He's 37.
Child.
Someone said that. The nemesis steps out of the shadows.
If that worked, that'd be hilarious, but I don't know if Peter wants to be on scene.
It's also not. There's no shadows here. It's all coruscanting lights.
Right?
That's not even gaming it. That's just how it is. Oh no. Peter can't just snatch us away.
That's good.
You must locate him and return him to my palace and my care.
Do you know where he is?
Yes.
Taken?
He must be hanging out at that new club that opened up, Night Brothers.
I'm not familiar with that one.
she like brings up an advertisement for it, and it's like a Dave and Buster's advertisement for a giant casino slash entertainment dance center slash murder arena where people go in and play laser tag, but with real lasers against like the army of the house, which is a bunch of like soldiers with spikes coming out of them and like black and red armor that's like strobing, and it's like laser tag, but they're killing people. And like all the hosts and hostesses are very attractive and have like tattooed themselves black and red, just like Darth Maul, and put like fake little horns on their head as part of their outfit. Kind of like a Hooters outfit, but for people dressing up like Darth Maul.
Well, no one ever really blamed him or accused him of being subtle.
I mean, it's a big galaxy. There's no way Palpatine would find out that he has a Dave and Buster's on Nar Shutta that he named after his own people.
You just figured it was someone doing a bit.
Right?
Let's be honest. Sheev definitely has been there.
He has better things to do with his time than follow up on every single lead about Maul.
No, not to follow up on a lead, just to go to a Dave and Buster.
Right? My intel tells me that's where my son is stored, but I don't have any real, she gestures at her wealth, influence on this world, so I can't act against him without upsetting my divine pantheon.
But we would hate to upset them, so...
That's right. If I upset them, they would be upset with me, and they might snub me next life day. If they're upset with you, they'd come down on you and your family like the hammer of an angry god.
Then it's a good thing I don't have a family.
There it is.
Clank, clank, the stomp salute.
Right?
Could
you go and retrieve him?
Yes, especially because there are other people probably there that we were looking to retrieve. But
I don't care about things that aren't me.
What assistance could you provide us for this mission? Because I assume that he has a lot of armed forces in that nightclub.
I told you exactly where he is, and I'm offering you a reward in return. Is that...
What's this reward? This is the first time you're mentioning it?
Would you like some Chuck E. Cheese tokens up front? Redeemable only by my son when you rescue him.
She just assumed you guys knew you were going to get rewarded because you're dealing with a god, and gods reward people for their faith tangibly, like physically, in this world.
That,
like,
that was my assumption.
Good to know.
So like she's like, oh, I suppose we could do a little bit up front. She claps her like metal hands, and like a Duro is hauling without the assistance of grav threads like a chest across the floor. It's like, and he drops off in front of you.
Can't decide if it'd be rude to her to help him.
She just keeps staring at him the whole time. You know what you did.
I don't feel bad about this. This is actually amusing.
Yeah, next I just have a chest just pulled by furlings, in chains around the necks or something.
I mean, it's a funny story about Hutts, but there'd have to be a way to get to it. Oh, I guess there'd be a way when she gives you like what her son looks like, because you'd want to know what her son looks like so you don't bring out the wrong person, right?
Yeah. Assuming there's more than one Hutt, yes.
She taps a thing on her panel, a hologram comes up of a 2-scale Wampa with his hands on his shoulders, decked out in like Egyptian finery, and that bandolier Wookiees seem to always have. That's my son, Chevron Laser React.
I don't have a response to this.
Why would you need a response? He's a beautiful boy.
Yes, he is. Once he goes through apotheosis, he will be a living god and we'll spend eternity together as mother and son.
Seriously?
That sounds like a healthy relationship. It's good. It's good to keep close among your family.
So you're saying he's going to go to the chrysalis and emerge as a beautiful Hutt one day?
Absolutely. He only has to consume his own weight in spice over a protracted period of time. That's how all Hutts ascend.
Yeah, I've had my memory right 5 times in the last few years, and even I know that.
They always make sure to install that patch.
It's very important to know where gods come from.
For reference, if people do or don't know a lot of lore about the Hutts because they're fairly secretive, what a Hutt does is they consume spice, the drug spice, but they get it from the source. So spice is found on worlds that have been irradiated by strange galactic energies, like Kessel. Kessel's stuck in that fucking space storm with the black holes and the Cthulhu monsters in it. Well, the planet in the middle of Kessel's been bombarded by all that energy for all of time, and the spice they extract from it is basically just like minerals. Like it might be like copper or zinc like flakes. They grind that down a bit into a finer powder and snort it, and that makes people better at doing things and more focused. Like there's a few guys here that are standing here that are like near human or races that are usually furry, and they're completely bald and their heads are a bit swollen and they're constantly sniffling because they're literally mentats from Dune. Anyway, you do that enough, you eventually turn into a hut.
Spice melange.
Yeah, why like it's called Spice and Star Wars is a fucking ripoff of Dune. Why wouldn't it be?
See here, I thought that you were going to go the other way with it.
Goated.
Say that Hutz had taken the worm and worn the skin,
No,
and eventually. Okay.
no. If you just get enough access to high quality royal jelly spice, you just turn to a living god who's insane and thinks that they're a living god.
It's just like the fucking what Navigators Guild people or whatever.
Yeah, they're just like Heinleiner navigators. Yeah.
So
I've never
yeah,
read Dune a day in my life, so these are only words I know from reading a wiki article or watching Jodorowsky's Dune. That's all my knowledge of Dune.
I have read Dune, and I'm glad I read it, but it's also a book that was written in the 60s.
I mean, there's like 5 sequels. Right now, I'm referencing the sequel where the son of Dune, that's the main character's name from Dune.
Oh, yeah.
Paul's son eats so much spice he becomes a living Jabba the Hutt with a face and hands coming out of a worm body, which is where Lucas stole that from Jabba. So it's like, yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like he didn't do it from eating spice. He like bound himself to the skin of a worm. I watched a lot of YouTube stuff.
Oh man,
about this.
I've already
like
forgotten.
the God Emperor before the God Emperor was even a thing.
And he was like blind, and like because he followed his destiny perfectly, he could always perfectly see. Because the water, sand, desert Tusken Raider people would kick you out if you're blind. Mm-hmm. It's a whole thing. I don't know how I know this. The knowledge just comes into my head at some point.
Yep, and then at some point he diverged once, and then was like, "Oh no, now I am blind because I stepped away from my path."
Anyway.
This is why listeners come here. It's
right?
Fine.
This is exactly what they want here. Yeah, Salvador Dali in that picture as the Emperor of Space. That's what. Imagine that. That's what Chevron Laser React looks like, but he's a Wampa on top of all of that.
My God.
Look up the picture of Salvador Dali as the Emperor in Dune, and you'll know what we're talking about, listener.
Yeah. Best movie never made.
Right. But yeah. That's the setup. I think I'm vaguely alluding that if you were to dig deeper into Hutt backstory, the Hutts used to be furlings. They used to come from one planet, and their sun blew up, and they found spice, and it was a rich spice planet. Now they're this.
So they're fatter look.
Yeah, they're bigger.
Christ.
Spicier look.
They're not fatter, Luke. What they are is, if you have data, then they're the B4 of datas. Fatter. I know that's an insult to fat people. It's a whole thing. But, I need to point out that because Star Trek is stupid, they heavily implied that the giant, narcissistic, loves his own self-image Noonien Soong built Data and Lorna's own image as the final product, but the prototype B4 looked 30 years older and was clearly a little bit more overweight than those two rail-thin beanpole scarecrow people. And they're like, why did Dr. Noonien Soong build B4 like this? Was he just not very good at making androids at this stage? What the fuck went on? Why couldn't they have just gotten a different actor to play B4 instead of Data, so Data could act alongside a different actor and maybe introduce a younger actor that could take over for the character, like with alternate Spock?
Well, he was a little bit atonal.
Yeah.
We would have to hire somebody else from the Screen Actors Guild. And this whole thing.
The guy who directed Nemesis sucked. He was like a big piece of shit too. He called LeVar Burton Laverne a few times and thought he was an alien. And LeVar Burton's better than anyone in that movie. He has writer, directing, producing chops. He should have done that movie. It's a huge insult. Anyway, right back to where we were. So Gorgon the Hutt has tasked you with saving her little baby boy, who rips people's arms out of their sockets and is a sentient, or is just a Wampa. Wampas are just sapient. Yeah. You have to infiltrate Knight Brothers, a Dave and Buster's style casino, and get her son back.
Are we doing a heist?
Yeah, there's 3 stages: infiltrate, locate, extract. Or infiltrate, locate, exfiltrate.
All right, everybody. Lucky for you, I've for some reason whoever deletes my memory always installs specific knowledge about huts and several books about infiltration and exfiltration.
They're all
specifically heists.
They're the entire library of Chevron Alpha heist holovids.
Time for a movie marathon.
Unfortunately, none of them work with the unit anatomy.
They're all basically westerns.
Yeah.
None of them are in like a civilized area. It's like a bank.
Yeah, like
It's
so, like
not helpful at all.
you know those space trains from Solo: A Star Wars Story that try to space jack. In an episode, like in a movie, Sharma's tried to jack one of those and like falls off and like hits the mountain slope, tumbles a bunch, blood sprays everywhere, and like he crashes and harpoons himself on the tip of a peak and gets up and is like thumbs up. And it's like he did that stunt. It's like really? It's like no, he fell, but he turned it into a stunt. How did he turn it into a stunt? By living. It was the will of the Force.
Turns out he was a robot.
So, my pitch to you is, do you want to just dive right into being at night, brothers, and take it as you go?
I mean, I don't really have another plan.
Other than like trying to put together an Ocean 11's plan?
I mean, can we just do flashbacks to when we were making an Ocean's 11 plan?
There's Blades in the Dark now.
I know, right? The superior way to do Shadowrun. Why don't we pause? I'm going to hit pause. And we're back. So, we star wiped outside Night Brothers. Night Brothers looks like a crown made of twisting spires and horns. It kind of looks almost like a nondescript abstract Darth Maul head with like, or skull with like spikes coming out of it that are like also towers and like areas to go in the casino. But they're like big and stylized, and like the nose hole in the skull would be like the entrance, and the eyes would be like where like video screens are and stuff. The whole complex is fairly big. There's a lot of people coming on in and out. There's holograms being played above each horn on the head of like giant dancers, like male and female, dressed up like Darth Maul doing dances and stuff. It's all very exciting. You see celebrities, hover cars drop on by. People are coming in and out. It looks exciting to be here. And inside, it's like a big gambling floor. There's dance floors. There's games. There's casinos. There's a prize booth with all sorts of weapons and a portion of the prize booth labeled blackmail library that you can exchange your tokens for. People can buy droid legs if they want and even pay for surgery to have them installed to be just like the mascot. I don't have a good name for the mascot. The mascot's just called Night Brother. And it's just like a Darth Maul looking dude with robot legs, but a little more stylized and nondescript.
If I may suggest, the mascot is named Savage.
I don't think Maul would do that. It's a little on the nose, and he died in his arms.
Oh, that's fair.
But he definitely does have Savage's visage all throughout the casino as like a nice little homage to like cool, strong-looking like Dathomir people all over the place. But like all the staff and the hostesses and the droids are done up to look kind of like this. There's a theme going on. It's a whole thing that's happening. There's also like in various parts of the casino, like a large arena, multi-level complex that people can view in on all sides. Like that's a laser tag arena with like different lighting and strobe lights and neon and lasers, and people are running through and getting murdered in there right now. And people are gambling. Pumping music, jizz music is playing constantly. All
what music was that?
Do you not know about jizz music?
No.
Okay, so you know in Star Wars how they have music?
Oh God, I do know about this.
The official name of the genre is jizz music.
Oh, I forgot about this.
So like it's like bop 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 bop. That's Cantina music, but it's also that music from Fallen Order that's on his headphones. That's like big rock and roll music and stuff. It's all over. There's an eating area where you can get Dathomir delicacies like pizza and wings and Orange Fizzy Drink, the only drink they're legally allowed to sell in this province. But yeah, like it's called like I don't know. It's called like the pizza is like spicy, or the wings. The wings are seasoned to be hot, so it's like Rancor wings with like death sauce so hot you'll come back from the dead and avenge your family as a witch. That's the tagline for the sauce on the menu. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Okay, there are also rancors here. Like there's a petting zoo / look take a picture with a rancor area where they just kind of hang out and are fed and they're not mistreated or anything. Because why would you mistreat a rancor? There's no profit in that. Yeah, it's like a whole cultural appropriation of Dathomir thing, but it's done by a dude from Dathomir, so I don't know where it stands. So internalize that as you will. He's making bank off of this.
Yeah, I guess so.
93 is definitely going to feed the Rancor.
Yeah, you can even buy chow for them, which are basically people who lost in the laser tag arena, so you can like throw like an arm with still holding a blaster into their mouth.
I can't decide if this is gaudy or not.
Oh, that one guy from from Return of the Jedi, the Rancor Master's there because he was hired by Maul because he's really good at Rancors, and he's just like, hey, he still doesn't wear a shirt or anything. Why would he?
Yeah, why would it be gaudy? This is great. Or it doesn't matter if it's gaudy. It's great.
He doesn't wear a shirt, but he's definitely like tattooed himself black and red and like put like spirit glued horns onto himself.
Great.
Hey, he like cheers that guy on. He's doing his best.
So yeah, there's a lot of people going through here. You know, it's pulsing. There's music everywhere. There's a stained glass window of a dude with a beard in like a Dracula robe with his head cut off, holding his head in his arms because his hands fell on the ground. He's crying. Just all sorts of stuff all over.
So I guess I'll go and or 93 will go and get us logged in for the next tournament. For the next game.
All right, there's a Twi'lek who looks like that evil Twi'lek from the Star Wars MMO, who's like a Sith Lord or whatever, but she looks like Darth Maul patterned, and she's behind the counter. She looks like she doesn't. It doesn't look like she doesn't want to be here, but it looks like she's been working her whole shift. So you walk up, and it's like, oh, what do you want, little buddy?
2 entries to the tag tournament, please.
Okay, sure thing. And she takes out like a little metal button and like sticks it onto your chest plate and gives you another one that has like a little backing so you can attach it to someone's clothes.
Thank you. Is there a clock or anything that we should know of, or see keep track of when the round is up?
They gesture to the schedule and like what your badge matches up to and stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah, like you'll be allowed in pretty much when it starts, and she just kind of waves. Good luck, little buddy.
I'll need it.
Oh, there it is. I'm going to pause real quick. Okay, and we're back. So, you guys sign up for the deathmatch tournament in the Death Arena.
Yes.
I accept my badge from 9.
Yeah, he says, all right, we're on the schedule. So, have you ever been in one of these before?
Not hosted by Maul, no.
A bunch of patrons come over. It's like, look, it's a Maul guard. Or not a Maul guard. What am I, drunk? They're like, look, it's a Death Guard. And everyone like comes over and tries to take like holovid pictures with you. It's like, why aren't you colored right to the Mandalorian?
Mm-hmm. Kess is just he looks like he does not want to. He's not happy this is happening, but he's just kind of frozen a little bit.
They gesture to a wall alcove where there's like a suit of Mandalorian armor done up like Darth Maul. That's actual Mandalorian armor too. It's made of Beskar. He stole that.
Repressing my reaction and debating if I can steal that on the way out.
We could probably get some force points for that.
Get some force points.
I may be trying to take them on the way out if we have time.
We're adding it to the list. It's on the list.
It's on my list, at least.
We're all in this together.
Are you guys all sitting at a table after signing up?
Yeah, we'll sit down and eat pizza.
And... one of the servers comes up. Here's your bubbling cauldron of magic, and it's just orange juice in like a cauldron. Oh, we lost Adam again. Let me pause. So you get all your stuff served. Who is all here with you, like at this table?
Yeah, did all 3 of us go in together, or are we just kind of like buying time for?
That is, I guess, up to Lemnar if he's with us.
So I am probably going to come in separately from you all because I'm trying to just get the elevator working so we can just go in there.
All right, so you're going to smuggle yourself into
But-
the vent system after. Oh, yeah, we didn't even set that up because that was happening in the pause. So having the list of your enemies and their names and faces let you get an employee who told you about the man-sized vent system that might lead to the secret elevator that'll let you in.
Yep.
We
Perfect.
forgot to talk about all that, even if we were going to do it in media res.
That's not why they're here. They're here to listen to us talk about
flash.
Bigger Luke.
Are we just going to flashback?
No, we're just continuing on in. So you're going to go into the vent system, right?
Yep. So I'm there in the vents, and I told the clone troopers I hired to go with you guys.
So it's like you two and a bunch of clone troopers?
Yeah.
Perfect. So while you guys are enjoying your pizza and orange drink served in a witch's cauldron, the undead brew, or the witch's brew or whatever, you're in the vents. The first obstacle you're going to encounter in the vent is there's a tripwire, but it's not like a thin red tripwire. It's like a block. Like not a wall, but like a cube of laser in like one section of the vent.
Okay.
So if you trigger it, it'll set an alarm off in the security booth.
Which is fine because I'm a Kaminoan, which means I'm super skinny and have giant, long, gangly limbs. So I sort of just squeeze my way through the lasers, bending and flexing in a really grotesque, creepy way if you could actually see it.
All right, so like it is a cube, so it takes up the entire corridor. But I guess you like flatten yourself down just like as much as possible to creep by like the bit between the wall and the laser.
Yes.
Looks like they didn't think that one through.
I mean, they assumed that these people have skeletons, not my species, which is all
Air bladders.
Well, no, it's the stuff that your nose is made of.
Cartilage.
It's more flexible bone.
Cartilage,
Yeah. We're just all cartilage.
There you go.
They didn't expect to be robbed by cats.
So is it a getaway or
So-
what?
I'm going to say getaway.
All right.
Because that has the consequences in it that literally line up with what this is.
All right, and that would be with Grace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. 14.
Nice.
All right. Oh,
Used to.
sorry.
And you
Yeah, I guess in the beginning one round.
and you acquire a web.
Yes, there it is.
Mhm.
The webs start to flow in. So yeah, you get to choose your.
It's starting.
Yeah, it's starting. So yeah, you don't take anyone nearby. Quietly, quickly, no harm, no spikes. It's perfect. So we'll cut back to the party. The laser tag match is about to start. You guys are going to go on in. They lock you in. They give you your blaster, and they give you like armor coverings for your armor. To help them register how badly you were murdered for the scoring system. They point that
Oh yeah.
there are neutral generators all along the map, and shooting them turns them to your side, and will also release a turret that's aligned to you that'll shoot anyone who goes through that like isn't you. And like if someone like gets into the turret and like shoots their little control thing for the generator, it'll turn it back to their color. It's a whole thing. There's a time limit. You got to rack up points, kill your enemies. Everyone's cheering. Betting is happening. Do you want to take any handicaps, or do you want to pay for power ups or something with a use of precious? You guys all got one precious from Gorgon the Hut.
Very tempting, but I feel
Yes.
I love that. Very tempting, but then Oom's like, yes, okay, Oom, you get the lightning gun, which is an area ranged weapon.
this will be useful later.
It's only good for the laser tag arena.
Well, we're going to be in the laser tag arena later. We are now, but we'll be later too.
Does the Mandalorian buy anything?
Probably not. Like I trust my own weapons and don't want to deal with whatever bullshit.
Aw, that means you're not going to get the Morning Star from Castlevania.
Oh,
This is Ready Player One.
oh no.
You get the bow and arrow, but like the green armor version from Ghouls and
Oh,
Ghosts.
fuck off. Ghouls and Goblins sucks. That game's not fun. I'm bad at it.
Well, I missed the shield upgrade, so I guess I'll die. Anyway.
So, You guys head on in. The game starts. You guys get to see the opposing team briefly as like both of your cages open up before you're dropped into the arena. Who's in the other cage, by any chance?
Well, I guess it's time for Void within Val to come in. Maybe he's seen that some Mandalorians trying to ruin Life Day here by trying to win at Maul's establishment. So he comes in with some of his own people.
Who are your own people, Pete?
Some crabs, one of the most true warriors, the usual gang. I've recruited some people.
Right?
The monsters.
I appreciate
It's the monsters.
I appreciate that you said that we're here to ruin Life Day, which means we're here to ruin Christmas.
Yeah. You're going to steal Life Day from Maul.
It's a Christmas episode.
Okay, how many generators should there be to make this interesting? What would be enough to not be super... you know what? We should even label generators. We'll label it by territory. So let's say there's 3 territories. There's the territory on your end, the territory on their end, and the middle no man's land territory. And they all have quote-unquote generators. And each turn of this will represent you guys attritioning back and forth for it. How about that?
Yes.
All right, so turn 1, they flood the area with mooks, which are Maul. They look just like Maul's soldiers, actually, but kind of garbagier. Like they have worse armor, they have more spikes everywhere, they have limited movement. A lot of them have like limbs that don't work quite right because these are the ones that Maul can't use for his army with his bad sorcery.
The rejects.
Yeah, this is what he fills his laser tag arena with.
The clone troopers feel bad for these guys.
Right? Well, they shouldn't because these are all Crimson Dawn criminals.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
You're legally allowed to murder them.
I don't feel bad. I remember what happened on Mandalore before it got glassed.
Right? Remember they were selling poison to children in their drinks?
I have no regrets.
I was hoping. For a moment, I thought you were going to say, I have no memory of that. Oh my god. Okay. So, the first obstacle is you're going to have to conquer your territory. It's... How do you want to do that? How will you be doing that? What will you be using in your skill set to take over the territory closest to yours?
So I have an area gun, so we can just lure a bunch of them into one area. I can shoot them with my +0 blood.
Oh my god.
Roll for murder.
All right, if you want to shoot them and finish them is what it sounds like, then someone should set you up with advantage. And, well, you know what? You guys are hired killers, and these guys suck, so I'm going to say you automatically have advantage. That's just how advantage works. So, yeah, finish them. Stitch.
Okay. Do you want to assist me in finishing them?
Yeah, I can take a few pot shots as well.
That gives you hope.
Okay. Hey, I like hope.
Hope is nice.
I got oh, good lord. That's a 12.
All right, you annihilate, like you lead the bulk of like the house robots, or the house soldiers is what they're called, into like a kill box, and you guys just like expertly as heroes like cordon them off and lightning gun them, and they all like fizz and burst, and like they're like, oh, we're dying, and they do the skeleton thing from Home Alone 2 that's just a little bit too much, and they all drop to the ground dead, their armor smoldering.
I pick off any of the stragglers that the lightning gun somehow didn't catch.
A large orb in the ceiling detonates, and like confetti and tokens start showering down around you guys.
Hey, it's a good thing that none of this counts as harm.
Oh my god. All right, and now I'll swing the spotlight over to Void Within Without. What are you doing on your side?
Well, since the Fellowship is ignoring me, I came to make a cut, and since there are some threats here that, the Fellowship cannot protect, I can cut them as hard as I want. So I guess I'll just murder them.
Oh my god. All right, so like with a knife?
Just with my fist,
You come charging across the arena.
Well, you guys, at the guys on his side, he can kill threats he doesn't like. So there's like a screen that shows like the soldiers, the house soldiers that have been seated on his side, and it's just him beating them to death with his bare hands. Everyone's like, woo!
And then since I have some freshly dead people, I raise them up with necromancy. There's that movie again.
Shit, you have necromancy?
Yes.
Oh no. All right, so there was like a group of house soldiers on your side, so you have a group of basic soldiers.
So like the boss music stops, and we're like, that was an easy fight. and then it starts
Oh,
again.
actually, what you hear is that Twi'lek woman being like, kill, double kill, triple kill, quadra kill, pentakill. And so
Perfect.
Killer.
They start playing X gonna give it
and
to
like,
you.
yeah, on screens you can see him doing that, and then they all get back up from the dead and start following him.
Should I rip one of their arms off? We
Oh
want
my
to make
God.
this a horror movie scene now.
If you can do that whenever you want, you piece of shit.
I
I'm gonna cut to Adam though, Lamnar in the vents.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
All right, so you are actually pretty far down now. Like you've gotten past the bars event, the casino's event system, and you're starting to descend to the elevator shaft. So the elevator shaft stops and opens up a little into 3 high-speed spinning fans with turrets mounted on either side, with laser sights pointed straight up, waiting for anything to interrupt the laser after the fans.
So there's the fans, and beneath the fans are lasers, which
will shoot through the
turrets
fans, much like old World War I biplanes. The guns were put actually behind the propellers, and they were timed so they could shoot through the propellers while the propellers were spinning. So they can just shoot the propellers off. These turrets are set up similarly. So if you try to approach, if you even fucking look at those fans, the fucking miniguns will open fire on you rhythmically.
Okay.
The turrets are threats.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It's I am going to perfect. I'm going to basically activate a small little miniature EMP and throw it down, and I'll sort of deactivate the fan and the turrets. And in mechanical terms, I'm activating my bear trap.
To seize everything up?
Yeah, immobilize them until they pry free. It also causes immense pain when triggered, which doesn't apply.
All right, so yeah, your EMP stuns the entire system. That's so easy. All right, it stuns everything, and you're able to descend further. When the system boots back up, because it was clearly futzed with, you reset one of the timers in the vent system, and the vent system goes, what was it? Sterilization cycle beginning, and those fans, they have little pores on them that open up and start spraying grease everywhere, and then they light on fire. And the fans above you, like now that you've passed them, it's no longer a threat, are now also on fire.
Okay, well,
you're past them, but that's what would have happened if you fucked that trap up.
I don't have to worry about that.
All right, good to know.
I'm just letting you know how well prepared Maul is for people to come on in.
It's Tomb of Horrors down here.
I look up, I look down, I'm like, not my problem anymore.
All right, we'll cut back to laser tank. So you guys, the heroes, have conquered your section. The villains have conquered theirs. The middle section is all that's left, and then you'll have to start fighting. What do you guys do?
Well,
all right. So, we can't ignore it. I guess we can't ignore their leader. He says,
no.
not knowing who that is.
Did we wipe your memory between now and Hoth?
How often do you wipe his memory?
It's dark.
They announced him by name.
Oh,
yeah,
did
they did.
Oh no. Okay.
It could be any
cameras were. Also, cameras were showing you what he looked like.
Oh no.
It could be any given robotic arm.
Right. You could be like, wait, we didn't wipe your memory. Oh, sorry, I was too busy murdering their entire team. Pentakill.
Right.
I'm going for godlike.
Drunk with power. All right. I'm debating if I just want to start shooting Void. That's worth points, right?
Start shooting what?
Start shooting Void.
Yeah, he's worth points. He's worth all the points he got from the people he killed. So are you.
Okay. However, I can't do that without advantage, and it's going to be hard to get advantage for him. So for now, I'm going to see if I can, it's dark and there's lasers going everywhere.
And strobe lights and pumping music.
I'm going to see if I can try to make myself, try to be a little sneaky and hide. I don't know if that's a roll or what, but...
Didn't we discuss this? Stealth was a thing, and I don't remember what it was.
Get away? Because that's moving. Will you get
away?
Okay.
Because you're trying to get past people without being shot, clearly.
Yeah, basically.
That is the downside to not sneaking.
Get into sniper position.
All right, makes sense to me.
All right.
Take a shot at it.
Roll plus Grace.
While that's happening, Stitch, what are you doing?
That is 5 plus 2 is 7. So I got a 7. And that means I get to choose 2 because I have poetry in motion.
Nice.
So
Fantastic move.
I'll do, don't take any damage on the way and get there unseen and all that.
All right, you've set up a place to camp.
I think I'm gonna look closely.
What are you looking closely for? What are you trying to discern? What's going on here?
So I want to figure out. I think I want to figure out like where they're going, and like a good way for us to basically like get around them, so that we can possibly like take their base from them.
Okay, well, they're the zombified ones are flooding their way into the mids and into your side. Just like some will stand under the generator, stare straight up, and shoot, and then use their hand to cover like the light sensor on their armor while they're just pulling the trigger over and over, shooting at the generator.
Oh yeah, that's just what you do.
Other ones are just aimlessly wandering, hunting, and the ones that are alive and Void are doing what? Void?
Well, they'll probably be charging for the middle as well. Might as well just double down on this.
Okay, so yeah, let's do a look closely and see if you can figure out what you're looking for. Maybe get advantage on some of these fools.
All right, that's an 11.
Okay, so 3 questions. You don't have to like specifically pick from the list. You can kind of just ask me 3 vital things.
Yeah. So like, what's gonna happen if we make a push for like their base?
I don't know because Peter's pretty much in charge of his team now. Pick a different question.
Gosh.
How about this?
Peter,
How about this? You're looking closely, right? So why don't you be like, Devin, is there, some people that are isolated that I could ambush?
Yeah. Yeah.
More
so,
like treat it like command lore prompts.
Okay. So yeah, is there anybody that like is ambushable? Like that's like
I would say
like I'm imagining like the pile of people under our base who are what is it, sensor guarding?
Yeah.
They might be.
I would say that the true warrior will be on his own.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, one of those one of the Maul's curse-eaten big soldiers is just kind of on his own.
Okay. Then I'll grab some like maybe a Mandalorian to come with me, and we'll go like take that guy out.
All right, go for it. You're in a group, and you have advantage because he doesn't know you're there, and he's isolated. So I'll give you advantage on him.
Oh yeah. That's a 5.
Oh my god! Do you want me to do the cut, or do you want to do the cut, Peter?
I've got a trap for this. So the true warrior was going on his own, but what he didn't realize that, surprise, there's a secret trapdoor spider swarm here that goes and grabs you because you just walked straight into it.
All right, so one of the ball pits opens up, but the balls are like rubber balls, and they're covered in spikes. And yeah, they fall on you, or you fall into them. Is that what you're looking for, Pete?
No, a trapdoor spider swarm.
Oh, trapdoor spider swarm. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Let me just paste that in.
So they burrowed into some part of they didn't burrow, but they found like a nice like kill corner basically, and are going to drag you into it because there's dead ends and mazes.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah. So you're dealing with the trapdoor spider swarm.
Oh yeah. Screaming, hollering. It's a mess.
Yes, you've been separated from the group and taken away.
Yeah, I guess I'll pass the spotlight at that point because that happens.
Someone trapped in the spider's lair will take damage every time someone gets a spotlight until they are rescued. So we're gonna swing the spotlight back to the Kamino, and we finished up with the Mandalorian, right?
Yeah, I went and got into sniper position as the battle droid got dragged away.
All right, we'll come back to you next after the Kamino.
Okay.
So take damage while the spotlight's away.
Yeah, take a damage as you're being chewed up and people are cheering at your death machine.
I wonder how the rest of the team's doing, I say to myself. crawling through the vents.
Right? So you get to the bottom of the elevator shaft. The elevator is there, but it's not lined up with the entrance. It's actually slightly askewed, and there's lock bars in place. There's also a camera drone above it and below it, constantly scanning. And if you look through a little tiny vent crevice at the front of the elevator, there are 7 soldiers, all with their arms linked, standing abreast in the hallway so that no one could sneak by them. Some facing forward, some facing backwards, and there's a small child standing right there with his hands on his hips, with a drink in his hand and a whistle in the other, looking around, darting his eyes.
So that even if we cut down the elevator, the troops and the child would all spot us immediately.
Maul understands how this shit works. He is savvy.
We can't just kill all of them because there's a child there.
The child is there to make sure that if anyone's like, "Did you hear that?" and someone's like, "It was probably nothing," he'll immediately blow the whistle and call other people in. That's specifically what the child is for. It's his only job. Maul pays him in pizza, orange juice, and tokens.
He helps spies on the regular to be always on alert. He must send one day.
Actually, I do have something for this.
All right.
They're right in front of the They're right in front of the elevator shaft, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we activate the elevator without them noticing, or do we have to deal with them first? I'm just trying to understand.
If you're clever, you could activate the elevator without them noticing.
But that will be some roll or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine. So first, I'm going to sneakily go behind the where the part of the elevator shaft behind the elevator, lining up to sort of where the entrance would be, to where the troops are standing.
Yeah.
And place a little gadget that would activate a very powerful magnet that would pull them into the elevator shaft.
So this
is a pit trap.
They're in front of the door to the elevator, and the door is currently closed. So all you have to do is open it. But to do that, there is a scanner droid underneath the elevator because it isn't fully lined up with the door, scanning. So all you got to do is get them out of the way and get the door open. You can pit trap them in.
Yeah. So I'm going to overcome the scanner.
Perfect.
I'm just trying to hack it.
Go for it.
And then with pit trap, they would fall into the elevator shaft.
Makes sense to me.
Not lethally, because this is like the bottom floor.
Exactly.
You don't want to kill the child.
Also, there's like a dip beneath the ground floor for the elevator to kind of nestle in, so that even if you fall all the way in and the elevator goes all the way down, there's actually space for you to survive if you're normal sized. Maul knows how to build this shit, because inevitably someone's going to drop an elevator on him.
All right, let's see how good I am at hacking.
Oh man, hacking time!
I am very good. That's an 11.
All right, and that was just straight up overcome. All right, well, you destroy the droid, blow the doors, trap them in, they fall, and you can climb up into the elevator and unlock it. So the elevator starts going up, crushes that droid above it, like it gets stuck in the side and smashes. And you're on your way up. Let's cut back to the game. So, Cass, take a damage, Stitch. You notice that your droid's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
Oh, did I forget you, Peter? Or do you only act when you have something to do?
Who does what?
Pete, are you allowed to act independently, or do you only act as a reactor?
I mean, technically, I can act independently. I'm still a character. I'm not a threat.
Okay. Do you want to act next, or do you want it to go for Cass saving Stitch, and then we might cut to you?
I guess we can start with Cass.
All right, Cass. You see that your droid is fudged.
What is he being like?
A bunch of, I'm going to assume, Pete? Mechanical droid spiders?
Whatever would be suitable for spiders and snakes, I guess.
Okay, what would be suitable is it's a bunch of, mercenaries that have a bunch of, rope and bats. Because they're a team for this that you hired. You hired up an esports team for this.
So
and they
Babu Fritz?
Not even battle droids, people. Just dudes.
Babu Fritz. From that last Star Wars movie, those tiny people, tiny person.
I don't know what a Babu Frit is, but what I know is it's people with baseball bats and lassos, and they lasso the droid and they're bashing him with baseball bats over and over again.
Okay, I'm going to spend one from my high-tech gizmos, which are useful, to throw an incendiary grenade that has fire, which will not hurt the droid as much as it will hurt the mercenaries.
It'll also burn their ropes.
Yeah, and that'll hopefully get him out. Do I need to roll?
Well, if you're using, if it's used, the useful item's giving you advantage, and now you get to finish them.
Awesome.
That's how that works. Good suggestion, Pete.
What am I finishing them with?
Sounds like blood if you're throwing a grenade at them.
Yeah, I mean, I could also just be making them back off. Let me think.
You could.
What are the options again?
You could.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to say outsmarting or terrifying, so I roll plus grace with this.
Go for it.
If they do it, they admit defeat and will not willingly challenge me again.
Go for it.
So, and then I don't have hope for this. But that is a 7. So, deal damage and lose my advantage over them.
Okay.
I mean, that's fine. They have, where's the scratch pad? They
Well-
got 3 stats, 2 stats, Death Trap and Swarm.
Is Death Trap the one that's going to make him take a bunch of damage every time somebody
Yeah,
gets
that's the one.
I'm gonna kill that stat.
Well, is it piercing?
Oh, no, it's not.
Let's see. Well, it doesn't say that the secret stat gets damage, but sure. I guess they'll damage their swarm then.
I think secret, because it is no longer true, is damaged because they're not a secret anymore. They're there, right?
Makes sense.
Like, I know, like, usually I don't understand that because usually the stat that's like secret is like damage the stat to reveal and make everyone's life fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's true until it's not true, and the fact that it's not secret anymore means that it is not
Right.
true.
Like,
Or, yeah, I could say that, they've taken you down into a hole, now you have to find them in that hole or whatever, so they're still secret, going until you damage that. But either or.
Yeah, but then you can't really interact with
Yes,
it though
so you
because
have to
it's
find
secret.
it and...
oh, you're right. Yeah, the mistake I made was letting you know that happened without making you search for it. That's what Pete's talking about. That's actually that's on me. I didn't catch that nuance, but that's fine. Let's hold on to that. Let's put a pin in that and just you know what? To damage that stat, look closely would probably do it, right? Or yeah, looking closely would reveal them, which would damage the stat. Do you think that's right, Pete?
It could be like finish them with something that's about looking. I don't think
There
there's
is not a lot like that, which is why
So yeah,
I
probably
avoided
look closely. Yeah.
yeah, just give me a look closely and see if you can kind of hit it. Because if there's like an answer the GM gets to decide, then things can get a bit weird after you like shoot their death trap stat.
Okay. Let me see. Look closely is plus sense, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I am not as good at that. Okay. My dice like me better though. That is an 8. So 7 plus dice 3 from the list, but I find one of them out the hard way. So, is something hidden or out of place? If so, what looks suspicious?
Hidden or out of place? Yeah, there's something that's hidden. It's that mob beating up your droid with baseball bats right now.
Oh, funny that. Let me see. Let's see. Tell me about. I don't know. Tell me about Void. What are they doing? What will they do next?
Now we're paying attention to Void, and this might be the hard way.
I have another question.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do need to figure that one out too. Third question. I don't know what's going on here. What do my senses tell me?
Zombies are swarming the arena. Like they're swarming through it and stuff, and trying to like find you guys, kind of like ants in like a little maze.
Need that lightning gun back.
Right? Okay, so clearly you detect the swarm, throw the grenade, finish them, destroy their trapdoor power. They're still a swarm. They're not secret anymore. They're not like a trapdoor spider threat anymore. So Sitch is no longer taking constant damage from them. Just regular threats being telegraphed their way. And you can now learn the hard way what Void's up to, right, Pete?
Sure. So the Tevos Spider Swarm will just, one of the ways to get you. The other one is he has some other people also to, help deter you, and he's introducing the giant crab swarm that's here to, grab people, and they're going for Stitch now because, they know where they are.
Oh, God, yeah, there's a bunch of crabs. Like, are they just crabs, Peter?
I was thinking about those, labyrinthian coral-like, creatures or something like that. Something void-like.
All right. All right, so some twisted, weird coral crab monsters are swarming on down to your droid.
They sure are. Jesus fucking Christ.
So, Stitch, let's move to you.
Stitch is like, I don't think that move is legal.
I will make it legal.
So it's trying to grab ya. You have a soft cut coming your way, I guess.
Yeah. You also got the spiders. They have one stat left, Swarm, which needs area to hurt, but you have an area gun.
I do have an area gun. I don't know if I have. Well, actually, do I have an advantage over the swarms? Since they just got knocked? Or
Yeah, they're
Someone
fleeing
else
and
has
stuff.
advantage.
Well, they're fleeing and stuff, right? Like they've been fucked up a bit. Does that make
Exposed.
sense?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, because that's specifically what the finish them was. It was to like demoralize them. If it was just to damage them, whatever. But specifically, this is like scattered them. So you could take a crack at it, and then you're gonna have crabs coming at you.
All right.
And that's just as bad.
Yeah, really. All right. Let's roll some dice. Let's see what happens.
Finish them.
I got firing my area gun point blank.
Again?
There.
Unless I can roll my sense or wisdom for it.
I mean, you can choose how you want to finish them. Like
Like,
if
what
you're
are these? Are
disabling
these
them and
actually-
knocking them out, you can roll plus 7.
Like, are these actually spiders, or are these things that I can like?
No, they're
talk
dudes.
to
They're
and-
dudes with baseball bats and rope.
Just taser
Oh.
them out into unconsciousness.
Okay.
with scent.
I'm gonna use my wisdom for it,
To
and
Wait, how are you showing them the error if they're
Wisdom
with
with
their
a-
laser?
like I'm a battle droid. Like there's like people feel bad for them, and so he's like, oh no, don't do that. One of them's like, this doesn't
pitiful. They leave you alone. The Jerry
Yeah, what-
strategy.
like one of them's like, this doesn't feel very sporting.
All right, guys, we should stop. This is sad. Also, we're on fire.
Yeah, a little bit.
We've been scared away by fire.
I did napalm them.
All right? They're gonna let it go. They're just gonna let it go. It's too much. Also, those crab monsters are coming, and they can pick it up.
They don't want to be here when that gets here.
They're like in classic Star Wars style. Like, we ain't no Fink, and they leave because it's not sporting.
Okay.
So let's spin the spotlight next to the Kaminoan. So
I'm in the
the
elevator.
elevator's going up. The elevator at one point will stop, and that little eye thing from Jabba's palace will come out in a stalk, and will be like, identify yourself. What's the password of the day? Random password check.
So as a flashback to when I was talking to the informant, which was as you said, a tactical droid,
Mhm.
which is basically just a card dealer or a chip.
Yeah,
seller.
let's cut to that. You're talking to him when he's at his other job, a 50-style diner that he runs. So he's there behind the diner. There's robots everywhere. People are eating space burgers and blue milk. No, they're not legally allowed to. They're only legally allowed to have Orange Fizzy Drink and pizza and wings. I've established this. So that's what he serves in his 50-style diner, but it looks like a 50-style diner. Well, what do you know there, friend?
Hello there, T2.
Hello there.
So, I think we need to talk.
We are already talking. Your logic is flawed. The separatists were right. Sorry. Continue.
No, it's fine. I remember your coding instinct. So,
He wasn't even in the Clone Wars.
I
He's just like an accounting droid.
I don't know that. I'm going to stereotype.
Turns out when they promoted them to
So,
generals, they just sent out a patch.
So I heard you have a side gig going on at the Knight Brothers Club.
Yes, I do bookkeeping for a casino. It makes a lot of tokens. They pay me in tokens and portions of drink and food that I then give to other coworkers for tokens at a discount.
Indeed. But they never give you quite enough tokens for your hard calculative abilities, do they?
No, I want more tokens to watch more holovids of people dancing.
Who doesn't? I just take out of my pocket the a bag of tokens that were provided to us by Gorgon the Hutt, and I sort of just
He picks one up and puts it into his mouth grill and pulls it out. Gorgon tokens. Excellent.
Indeed. So, tell me everything you know about that casino.
I know that there's a secret elevator and that the password is password. And then we flash to the future.
Done.
Password is password.
Do you say the password is password?
Yes.
Correct. And it goes back into the wall and the elevator continues.
Correct. Open up all the guns. Shoot.
I was like 30% sure he was screwing me over by lying to me. But
Hey, you spent a precious thing. That counts. That's overcoming the threat in flashback. All right, so the elevator's quickly on its way up. You guys got to wrap this game up or else you're going to miss your chance when someone realizes the elevator's missing and a bunch of children were thrown into an elevator shaft.
I figured we were trying to be entertaining so that they wouldn't.
I thought at one point you guys wanted to slip on out and slip into the elevator.
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
they wanted to tap out and have either the clone troopers or the other Mandos tap in.
So let's say this is the final, the countdown, and whoever gets the most points is gonna, win Life Day. So I think, Pete, from the sounds of it, you've definitely been taking the advantage with your zombies and minions and mooks and not being paid attention to. So you're a shadow monster.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say the last big threat here is: can you guys pull a victory from the nemesis? How would you do that? You're being overrun, it looks like.
Are there any rules about what happens if the enemy team goes down?
If the enemy team dies, the game ends and the winners win, and the amount of points they accrued, and there's a bonus for killing the enemy team, means they get more tokens.
Okay.
Yeah, we could just leave and just all right, they won.
But I'm still bitter. So am I still hidden? I'm not sure if I count as still being hidden because I threw
Well, you had a sniper rifle and a grenade. So it's not like the grenade was lit up when you threw it, like in goddamn XCOM.
It depends on your things. You're finishing someone, but you didn't kill them. Sometimes that's ends you're hidden.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's
That's
why
your power.
I think because of the sniper rifle and the grenade, we can say you're kind of still hidden.
Okay. And because I would like to roll to finish Peter.
Well, you're going to need to get advantage of him. And Peter you do not have advantage on Peter, naturally for being better than him because he's your equal. So you're going to have to find out a way to get advantage of him. Do you have that elven cloaking device power?
I do. I haven't used it yet, but I wasn't sure if being hidden would count, but if I have to use that, then I will.
Yeah, that's a little bit better than being what's the word I'm looking for? Hidden by convenience as opposed to actively hidden for murder.
All right. In that case, I will turn on my predator. I will turn on my predator cloak.
Well, is that a move you're using against me? So pay the price.
Yeah, your elven sorcery is a move.
Oh, okay.
Straight up, you get your elven sorcery from the move elven sorcery, and that's using a move against Petey.
Yeah. I'll just take it down.
All right. So the screens can't find you anymore, so they're all situated on Stitch, who's about to be overrun by crab people. And are you visible, Peter? Like Void?
I mean, probably the elf would be able to find me. Find his mark. Find nemesis.
I just meant that the cameras, are the cameras tracking you? Or are you that unhidden, or are you hidden enough that the cameras can't? So all anyone can see is Stitch and the zombies.
I mean, probably I'm visible when some blasters fly by, or whatever. So I'm just lit up by some incidental light, and normally I'm just in the darkness. So,
nice, you're doing the Slender Man thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to try to roll to finish you with Grace, because I believe that's how the move works. Yeah. I'm going to spend 1 ammo and try to... Or we know. So enemy at the gates, my move says, when I'm hidden from my target and wield a ranged weapon, I can spend an ammo to finish them with Grace. Which means I don't need advantage. I just have to be hidden. So did I need to use the cloak?
You weren't hidden from me, I guess, then?
Yeah, you weren't hidden from Peter. He was aware of where you were. I was just saying for the purpose of mooks and people who aren't trained killers, which zombies and crab monsters are not. They're just monsters.
All right. Well, in that case, I will be spending an ammo and attempting to finish him with Grace.
Put him down.
That is the goal. And I get to roll with hope because you're still my nemesis.
Do it.
Your worth is determined by your sacrifices. Pay your prices.
13.
Okay, so with Grace, what was that?
Outsmart, terrify, or overwhelm them. They admit defeat and will not willingly challenge you again.
You admit defeat. Yeah.
Okay, so
I know what that does.
Sorry. So what did you want for that?
No, I just know that it basically you take a shot directly in the chest from a slug thrower.
Okay, tap out.
Yeah.
But since you've also been violent towards me, then I'll just look at you first and give you the spare for whenever you're looking. Acting around me for
I get to stay hidden because I rolled 10 plus, so I don't know if that would stop you from doing that.
Well, I guess I'll turn menacing anyway, and that's a cat response coming your way. But I'm still not tapping out of this game. I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
you're
here.
Go on.
So, why do you get to make a cut against me?
It's a move Peter has as the nemesis. It's one of his powers.
Yeah.
But because he's backing down and breaking his code, he can't make cuts anymore.
Is that true, Peter?
If you break your code, you take damage. You cannot make cuts for the rest of the session.
Yeah, never back down. Okay, so the question is, does that activate first or after?
I don't know. That's why I'm bringing it up.
The hero just beat the villain, so it seems a little much to punish them for it, right?
I guess.
Depends on the situation.
In this specific situation, it seems a bit much. It seems like the Mandalorian definitively ended this. It didn't seem like it was like a bare-knuckle brawl. Maybe if it was a bare-knuckle brawl and he almost died, you could be like, and I cut you with despair. And you're like, yeah, that's true. I almost fucked this up.
What move is it?
Well, for me, it's an unbound fool that I can... when someone takes a hostile action or deceitful action against you, I might respond with a cut.
It says immediately.
Yeah. So
You get your cut, and that cut is vile deceiver, right? Or is it unspeakable horror?
Sadistic horror.
Sadistic horror. So yeah, he's allowed to do the despair, but it still happens to you.
Yeah.
So what exactly happens to me?
You have despair.
You have despair whenever you're in the scene with me. But yeah, I tap out, and I guess our team forfeits this match then.
I think you personally just leave, and whatever goons you want to live go with you.
Sure.
I think that's what happens. What are they going to do? Stop you?
Sure thing. So I guess I'll go on.
Bringing it back to life if I don't shoot him.
Don't worry, I get to bring you back afterwards. So I guess I'll leave my undead horrors and the crabs. Why not? And leave with the true warrior.
Sure. Yeah, works for me. You guys give up. The match ends. You guys get rewarded for your victory. I'll give you both a precious.
I have 2 now.
Everyone's cheering and hanging out with you, and then you get the call from your buddy that the elevator's here. You guys gotta do a thing.
Yep.
Do they take my lightning gun back?
Aww.
But I earned this with my own suffering.
You can take it outside, but it won't fire.
Not until I use a useful item to make it fire.
It's just built to use the tech in the arena, so you'd have to rip some of the tech of the arena and stuff, which you could do. I'm not saying you can't. Fucking do whatever you want. Do if you will with the whole cloth of the law. Don't be a cop.
As you guys approach the elevator and I see your condition, I'm like, what happened to you two?
We won.
I'm pretty much fine.
Actually, I am too. I took 1 armor damage.
Yeah, but you were definitely dinged up and shit because there were people going after you with baseball bats and ropes.
I mean, I put on a show for them, but I'm used to it.
You're all like, Life Day, woo!
Life Day, I got to see another one.
All right, so you're at... What did I say? Infiltration has happened. Now you're down to locate. So, elevator takes you down. You're now in the sorceress lair of Maul. It's, okay, the corridors are big enough for 5 people standing side by side to comfortably walk down. There are corridors that twist and turn at irregular intervals and connect with other corridors. There are droids constantly flying by doing sensor scans at all times, and they're always probe droids, always making that sound. There are doors that sometimes you open them and they go nowhere. They're just dead ends. There are turrets mounted to the wall. Some of them are fake. Some of them are real. This place is a bit weird. There's also like dead drops, but some of the dead drops are necessary to fall down onto like mattresses and then like take the stairs, take like a ladder up to get out later. That's what this place is like. So in this place, you have to find Gorgon the Hutt's beloved son, Chevron Laser React.
All right. Let me look at my stuff.
So
here.
there are 3 major concerns: finding him, avoiding detection, and doing it quick enough before Maul shows up, because I guess Maul might be on the way.
Seems reasonable, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, is there any kind of like a map that we can find?
Nope.
Or like that I can, like,
Maul killed
myself
anyone who
in?
had a map.
Of course he did.
There are probe droids that are going around, and probe droids would have a short-term memory, so it's the history of where they went.
That's right. The probe droids specifically have a map of their own route, and then after every like session, they memory wipe them and put them on a different route.
Could
we can
Could I speak softly to one of the probe droids?
Okay, so what's your pitch to the probe droid then? You're gonna walk and be like, "Hey, buddy, we're buddies. Look, I'm part of. Oh my god!" You're like, "Hey, look, it's me, Stitch. I'm part of the Spider and Snake Alliance." And he'll be like, "Oh yeah, you are."
Yeah,
I belong to this guy.
I am.
Okay, so you walk up, and like the probe droid comes up, and it's like intruder detected, and you're like,
No, I'm not an intruder. I work here.
scanning, and it like
Dummy,
scans you. Void within without's droid detected. Hello, Stitch.
Hello. I need to know where the prisoners are. Void told me so.
Oh, speak softly.
All right. Speak softly. Erase a bond. Okay. Just double checking on my moves. And that's 9, 10, 11.
All right, speaking softly. So, you get you get to take full advantage of that move. Let's
I form a bond with him if
sure
that matters.
form a bond with him. You have a probe droid. You can call him whatever you want. He's a probe droid from Star Wars, like the cool droids, the Empire droids. Those
Well,
cool
he's
guys.
not a companion. You're a squire.
Nope.
Is this the Fremen on the Fremtram one?
Yeah, those guys, like the cool probe droids from Star Wars. That's what they are. So, speak softly. Ask 3 questions from the list. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, like just where are they? What's the easiest way out of here? You know, just asking for a friend. And I don't really have a third question yet. So let's go with those 2 first.
All right. He tells you that he doesn't know where the prisoners are because they memory wipe him after every shift. You know that. They memory wipe you all the time, I think.
They do.
Right? Every day is a brand new day, and the first day of my life. Ha 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 ha. Yeah.
We do that for an uncomfortable
Right.
amount of time.
But what I can tell you is that my brother, who's down at that intersection, who passes by every 13.62 seconds, might know because he goes by doors that might not be fake, because he once mentioned that doors sometimes aren't fake, but all the doors on my route are fake, which means he's on a route where doors aren't fake.
That's really helpful.
And you
Thanks,
know what the
brother.
easiest way out?
Yeah.
Dying. Or going to sleep. Powering down. It's the easiest way out. Then you don't remember.
You know that's not what I mean.
I just...
Clunks it.
Well, he just looks around. I only know this route. There's no elevator or anything. All the doors are fake. Like, he goes over to a door and opens it, and it's a door, and it has, like, a claymore mine on it that he disarmed, and then he, like, recloses it and rearms the mine. You know, it's just a corridor of doors.
My goodness.
Oh boy.
You better run, though. I hear a bunch of guards and children approaching from that corner.
All right, let's go.
If you guys stick around, just try to peek over the corner. A bunch of guards, some of them facing forward, some backwards, all with their arms linked, holding hands, walk around the corner with a child in the middle with a whistle, ready to blow the whistle at any fucking second. Maul has the shit down.
I'll ask if it can pretend. Can you do me a favor? Forget that we were here.
Okay.
We're good at that.
Okay, bye. And you drive off.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. You go down another hall. What's your next move, gang? Maybe not Stitch this time.
Yeah, so do we know vaguely where we need to go, even if not specifically?
Not at all.
Great.
Oh wait, all right. So I take out my can of nanobots, not actually nano, but
Little
still.
spider bots.
And exactly. I open it up and I'm like, "Hey, you, can you come out here?"
All right, so they spread on out, and
And-
they're all listening to you on their little tiny spider legs.
Good boy, good boy, good boy. Okay, so AU, we are lost in this maze of traps and probe droids everywhere and guards surrounding little kids with whistles. It's a nightmare. Can you go try and find us a route to some prisoners? We're here to rescue
They
them.
nod. All you gotta do is spend bonds of servitude.
Yep, I will damage the swarm bond as it goes out to look
They
for...
will spread out and report back. So the threat coming your way is a bunch of guards are coming around the corner with a child ready to blow his whistle. What do you guys do? Some of these doors are real. If you can avoid this, you'll get the info you need.
Let me see. What have I got in the tank? We'll go with... Damn it, maybe I should have taken the sleep spell. Oh well.
The sleep spell's not bad, and it would have actually worked really well here.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could use somebody helpful arrives to summon Void now that he can't take cuts against us.
Does that count as helpful?
To make up the redeemed, so that then we actually have a boss with us. Just escorting us through the
No, do it.
facility.
That's amazing. Peter gets to play the redeemed.
Woo-wee, let me flip your playbook.
Did you already write out your redeemed playbook, Peter?
Yeah, I have it on my own doc. Yeah.
Thank the sweet Mother Mary that you didn't think that you'd ever be redeemed, because it hasn't come up yet.
I mean, I was technically redeemed for one session when we were working.
But you weren't playing like the redeemed. You kept cutting us.
So
I was playing like around there. I think there was some small mechanical differences, but it was mostly the same. Yeah.
So one of the doors you're standing beside opens and Void's there, and Void's like,
"So why are you here?"
Hello, boss. I'm just doing that thing you told us to do.
Oh yeah, call me whenever something happens. Yeah.
call me whenever something happens.
I mean, most of the time it doesn't work,
That's
but this time you really had it. Here, have a gold star. Pink.
Kes isn't.
I will cherish this forever.
Kes isn't saying.
Well, I will cherish this until my next memory wipe.
There we go. What were you saying, other guy?
Kes isn't saying anything, and he still has his helmet on, but he looks smug.
I'm going to just ask the question. Void, when has Stitch been working for you? How long has Stitch been working for you?
I mean, he's my droid.
Everyone turns to look at Stitch.
When did that happen? I remember fixing him up from scrap.
Well, he was my droid before then, you know.
You didn't change the registry when you fixed him?
I'm pretty sure I did. I was drunk when I was fixing him.
You then take a
take
a close look at Stitch's memory banks right now while you're like kind of just talking. He has a redundant one.
Oh.
You're like, oh shit! I didn't think battle droids would have that because battle droids are worth literally less than the gun they're assigned, and that's actually a pretty pricey droid augment to put in a backup like memory bank that'll like overwrite itself when you try to reprogram it.
It helps you remember all the names of the people who I've convinced myself that they love me.
Anyway, those kids are coming around. That kid with the whistle's coming around the corner.
Void, you want to help
He was like,
us
he was someone
rescue some
helpful.
prisoners?
So.
How lit up is this room?
It's not like super lit up. Like it's not like it's a blinding white light everywhere because Maul has aesthetic.
Well, if you guys can cut the light, I think I can take care of the kid.
I just figured that you work here.
I mean, I work here. You guys don't. Well, should
I mean, we obviously do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here.
I take you in to the rest of the Mandalorians?
I mean, that is our goal.
Prisoners? Question mark? Or are you going to help us?
I mean, we need to have some cover story, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so you guys quickly put your hands behind your back as the guards come around the corner. Okay, the kid sees you and starts
I-
blowing the whistle, and all the guards turn around and point guns. Like everyone's pointing guns. And they're like, "What's going on? What's going on? Something's happening. Get ready to shoot. Get ready to shoot, and not start shooting."
We're here.
Why? Are you...
Go on.
Go ahead.
So, since I have Dark Authority, which means that I still have some pull with my Cruel Master's minions until
Yes,
the
you do.
framework takes it away from me. I say, "Oh, I'm here to transport some more new prisoners to their cells."
All right, the kid walks up to you. He looks around, goes into his satchel, and he pulls out a tiny little baby pork chick. Eat this pork chick, or we open fire.
I eat it.
He's good. And then the kid walks back to the guards, and they go back on their route.
It's a bit crunchy.
What?
Oh my God.
What was that?
What was it, like a prove your evil
Yeah.
type of thing?
Yeah.
Maul's like, make them eat a kitten.
Ooh, they have kittens here?
Look, Maul has this nailed down, guys. If you guys were any other adventurers, you'd be fucked. He gave an 8-year-old a whistle and a bag of stuff to be like, okay, if some guy comes in saying he secretly works and is just transporting the prisoners, make them eat a kitten in front of you. And if he does, it means that they're actually still working for us and we're all good to go.
And they're just like, hey, kid, you want some money? And we give him a precious thing to forge a bond.
Yeah. Yeah, that would work too.
But, okay. Crisis averted, I guess.
Yeah, all right, there you go. Peter ate the kitten.
God.
I mean, do you want me to do that? Do you want me to start forging bonds with this kid so that as soon as I change playbooks, I can just have a companion working?
I mean,
Yeah, forge a bond with him.
yeah, I'll. You're doing an excellent job there.
Thanks, you're a cool battle droid. Is it true you guys used to kill clones?
I don't know. My memory's been wiped several times since the war, but
I bet
probably.
you killed so many clones. Fuck democracy. And then he walks off. You forged a bond with him.
The bond has to be called Fuck Democracy.
It is. Maul dash.
So, I guess we start heading to the south.
All right, so you go through the whole maze and bypass that entire part of locate because Peter showed up as the nemesis, which is great. I love that. It cuts down so much work for me. And yeah, you're brought to the holding cell. The door opens. It is a large warehouse room stacked from the floor to the wall with cargo containers that you can see that they're open, full of fossilized demon blood meteors. And there's an assembly line in the middle where people are taking like rocks and like cutting them up, like adding fossilized animal remains to them and like painting them and like putting them in the bin. And you can see that they're all in like a chain gang, like with like their legs and arms and necks like chained together and they're all working. And there's a droid there, like one of those accountant droids, just like checking stuff off. Please make sure to transport that to Steelhead. We have to put it through the artifact seller to get our next payment. Make sure that goes to the Dathomir Witch Reclamation Association. They want an extra gross for their, air quotes, sorcery.
Is there any other form of guards in here?
Yeah, there's like a bunch of battle droids, destroyer droids, droideca. A group
You know,
of
it's
them.
weird.
No, a gang of them. 30 of them.
Yeah.
30 destroyer droids, all of their shields up, all of their guns out, with like auxiliary generators plugged in so their shields don't burn out, all like walking around, aiming, looking around, waiting.
They're probably in like trios where it's like two of them looking at the door and then one of them looking behind the other two to watch.
Yeah,
the
and like
backs.
they're all overlapping their shields, so you can't just roll a shield in, because if you roll it in slightly into one, it'll bounce off the other. Because I have that thing here where I get like extra goons. So if it's a group, it's a gang. If it's a gang, it's an army.
Yeah, so like Oom93 sees those is like, I don't say this very often, but those guys are familiar.
Anyway, you walk on into the chain gang assembly line.
One of them must have loved me once.
And yeah, the accountant droid will see you guys and walk on over. What is happening here? Are you not? We do not have extra prisoners coming in.
Well, we've located some more Mandalorians, so we figured might as well add them to the Gorman-Bosa factory.
Okay, take them to Camp 4 for processing.
Okay.
Do we see any people we're here for here?
Yeah, the Wampa. He's right there making fake fossilized demon blood, because fossilized demon blood is fake.
All right, I'll kind of I'll nudge Void. Tell him to remand that prisoner to your custody.
Well, aren't you here for the Mandalorians?
But
Yeah, but we also need the
Mandalorian. Okay, we don't see the Mandalorians in here.
I mean, they're at Camp 4.
For processing.
We need that guy too.
What for?
Camp 4.
We'll tell you later.
I hold up one of my bags of money.
Your credits don't work over here. Okay. We'll need...
Please.
So?
He just says, please.
We'll need that prisoner as well with us.
Okay. And they just release him.
Are you accepting my bribe, or are you just doing it out of the goodness of your heart?
Well, you ask politely.
And then
Go on.
and that's it. They just keep on making fossilized demon blood.
Okay, we're gonna leave.
Make sure to load up that barrel. We need to seed them on worlds for Steelhead's minions to find.
We're just noting everything we're hearing right now down to memory. Might be useful later.
I'm putting that in my redundant memory bank, just like that.
Yeah, out of character, Darth Maul isn't looking for fossilized demon blood because that's a fake thing he made up. He makes it out of garbage, and then he has third-party people that connect to him sell it. But then he acts like he really needs it, so Steelhead will pay a lot of money to collectors to buy it, so he can buy up all the fossilized demon blood in the galaxy, which funds Maul. And then he tries to trade to Maul for favors, and Maul's like, "Oh, my one weakness!" And now Steelhead thinks Maul has like a weakness because he's bad at sorcery, which he is. But fossilized demon blood's not helping. He just found a roundabout way to scam his enemies.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, how did that meteor and Hoth come into play?
He had it placed there before anyone went there.
Awesome.
Okay.
He was play acting.
Yeah.
Well, what if that was an actual demon blood? He was like, oh shit, someone actually found something.
No, that's just a fake thing he made up because he's a sorcerer.
But we came with one angel in that other game.
Yeah, and when he finds that angel body, he'll plant some fossilized demon blood there to make it look suspicious. He'll even put a hole in the ceiling.
Fun.
Great. Excellent.
Like, he's a witch, guys.
Yeah?
He's not very good at it, but he's better than you guys are. And he used to be a Sith Lord. He knows some tricks, like how to make rocks glow really ominously, like the color of the space. He just like drives them through a black hole's event horizon so they pick up that color.
That's where you find it.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's all he does. He's a monster.
he really is.
This is his scam. This is how he makes his money.
Good old Maul.
The Camp 4?
Yep. Okay, so you guys go down to Camp 4. Oh yeah, that Wampa guy's like, I'm not gonna be taken alive. I'd rather die. When my mommy finds out about this, you're in trouble.
The second we are out of view of the fucking accountant droid and all the stuff in there, I just like click off. We take off the handcuffs or whatever.
I mean, if you want to die, that could be arranged.
It's fine. Your mother's very worried about you.
Mommy sent people. Yay!
Yes, we're interested in
I don't want to do manual labor anymore. I want to watch every holo vid I have back to back on Spice, and then I want to drink a bunch, and then I want to go partying, and then I want to go laser tagging.
Oh, that sounds awesome. We won our last match. I like waved the lightning gun.
Thank you, Keaton.
You got the lightning gun? That's so wizard.
I know.
I turned to Kess. He was the one that was in charge of the crime, right?
Yeah, apparently so.
So,
I don't know if this is more about Gorgon or about the situation.
You could ask him.
Yeah.
I speak softly.
Go for it.
Bonds!
Give me the box.
And you're walking and talking.
Oh, there it is. Okay. What's this guy's name again?
Chevron Laser
Richard-
React.
I think I put it in scrap notes under season 1 finale.
There it is. All right. Specifically, I'm just rolling to do the thing just to get a free bond, but like you can ask whatever questions you want to. It's a wait a second. If we're doing it together, I can roll with hope.
Delicious,
Sure.
delicious hope.
It's a good thing too. That's an 11. Wait,
All right,
no, that's
speak
a
softly.
13.
Whatever you want to ask or prompt from him, go for it.
Yeah, so go ahead, ask your thing.
All right. So Chevron, you're in charge of crime for Gorgon on this
Yeah, I'm a
planet?
crime lord.
What sort of crime do you usually do?
All of it. Like all the crime I do. That's me. I do all the crime with my for my mommy. She does the god stuff. I do crime stuff. She's the malevolent god of the pantheon, and I'm her crime lord son. I do crime. You know, like I've done crime on this planet my entire life. There's just so much crime I've been doing. Now name a crime. Name one crime. I do that.
Murder.
I'm in charge of that in this province.
Prostitution.
If you're doing that, I get money.
Well, that's not a crime here.
That's stupid. No, prostitution's not a crime.
All right.
Even
Okay,
I know
we do
that.
crime outside of the planet where it is because I don't know the Empire sucks, but like I get money for it.
Okay. Like you do, like I obviously drug dealing with the spice, but
Yeah, all sorts of spice. People don't like spice leaving the planet, and when it does, I make a cut of it.
how? So the spiders and snakes kidnapped you to leverage?
Yeah, they want to use me to like leverage my buds. We go and hang out all the time doing crime because we're crime lords when our parents are being gods. And they were going to try and buy up all the soldier contracts and the bounty hunter contracts for the entire planet, basically, and have them under them. And that sucks. It's
Yeah, it
not
does
Wizard.
suck. You know what would be Wizard? Taking it back or doing it back to them.
Oh yeah, these guys suck. I hate them.
We'd say
You wanna
walking
help us
right
take
next
them
to
down?
Void.
Yeah, they're a bunch of real sleemos.
Said the word.
See, when someone reminds me of my purpose, I get to betray you guys. But I don't think that happened.
Right? Anyway,
Yeah,
you
we're-
guys walk to Camp 4, now that you know everything you know about him, and you can forge bonds with him because he thinks you guys are pretty wizard. He wants to totally do, like, beer and energy drinks and spice with you guys later.
We are breaking him out of jail.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I don't like this jail. It's not like Hut jail. It's not furnished, and they made me do work.
I'm gonna give him a precious thing to also forge a bond, so I now have
You
3
did it.
bonds.
What did you give him that's precious?
My winnings from the thing. Like, yeah, look, I got this pile of
Yeah, game
tickets.
tokens. I love games. He puts it in his bandolier, his Wookiee bandolier that he has.
Just to make sure I'm getting it right. Chevron Laser React.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My mommy named me after the actor. She says I'm just as handsome as he is.
you are.
Remember, he's a wampa, like the thing that fucked up Luke's face. Not a motorcycle.
The bigger furling.
The bigger frame, yes. You guys have any spice on you?
I don't.
Aww.
Sorry.
I mean, one of my stuff could be considered. What would spice be?
Drugs. It's called spice. It's a drug. It's precious.
Something that gives you vigor, perhaps.
That too.
Do you need Bacta to heal?
No, I need spice to feel good about myself more than I already do at all times.
We'll find some of that when we get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, who's that big clone you got with you, like over your shoulder?
I forgot me.
Yeah.
You just with you the whole time, but as you were speaking fast and furious.
You're a big guy. You want to work for a crime lord? And Meathead's like, no. I like the idea of being around bigger people. And you're walking. Anyway, Camp 4 is like the sorcery lair where like the Mandalorians are on like those things where they like tie your arms and legs and like they spin you in like a spinning thing, and they're spinning the Mandalorians right now. You know what I mean, right? Like it's like your arms and leg are like on a crucifix, and it's like in a big like ring thing, and they spin you over and over again.
It's like one of those things that like in a
Centrifuge?
circus though, where they're throwing knives at the.
No, that's like a spinning wheel. This is like a centrifuge, like a gyroscope.
Oh, that's
Like what Drago was in Rocky when they were showing that Russian science would beat homegrown American heroes because those fucking movies.
Yep.
I mean, it did work.
Anyway, they're spinning, And there's like guards and soldiers in here, and like soldiers with guns ready to pounce.
Yep. Okay. Well, I guess we're probably going to go fight now, because I don't think we can.
It's darkly lit in the sorcery lair.
It doesn't seem like we can bluff our way past these men.
Can't
I
we?
mean, if you want to try,
I can talk sense.
if you want to try,
I'll What if he gave me the system to speak softly to one first to get a bond, and then talk sense in order to have something precious to then offer them?
Christ.
you're right. Your bonds are precious. Oh
They
my
are.
God.
All right, so yeah, there's one standing nearby that you can isolate from the group as you guys walk in. They're not quite paying attention to you yet because you're all in cuffs and led by Void with and without, one of the parts of the Alliance.
Oh gosh, I'm very tired, so my ability to roleplay is slipping.
Oh, I could do this all night now that I've started.
So you
I've
say
been
this
doing
is, you say this is a group of soldiers or a gang?
It'd be a gang. Like, I want to say there's an army, but that'd be cruel. I can, though. I'm legally allowed to say there's an army there because of the moves that I have access to for the location.
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah, no, a gang. There's a gang of, like, trained elite soldiers.
All right.
So man, I'm very tired.
So what's going on? What's the problem?
I turn to Void.
Let's
Can you get this Mandalorians free, or do we have to deal with the guards?
That might be a tall order to get
Yeah.
them. There's so many of them. Why don't we call Maul and I know we can negotiate with him? Because I think the Mandalorians were Steelhead's thing, not his.
I'd rather avoid having to deal with Maul right at the moment, if
You-
possible. The dude's a beast.
You want to call Maul in to talk to him?
I mean, what? Doesn't Maul like you guys? Did you cross him?
I don't know that he
No, we never
dislikes us,
crossed
but that's
him.
more out of a sense of apathy than anything else.
This would be easier to do if we didn't have to ask permission.
I mean, you know,
You know what they say about forgiveness? It's easier than permission.
Better to beg forgiveness.
well, so we want to wrap it like simpler maybe within a fight. Then maybe we should call Maul, have that to be final confrontation. We're trying to convince him to, free your people or something. You think that would be a good resolution to this session, perhaps?
Yeah,
I mean,
if you can spirit the Wampa out of sight so he doesn't realize you're about to fuck up the entire Empire's plan, yes.
Okay, yeah, I can. Oh, if something is an option, I'm gonna. Can I burn? I have my companion Mesla, the Elven Shadow here. Can I burn her untraceable to like have her spirit him out of sight?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do that.
So I have luck of the
Uh-oh.
devil.
What does that mean?
It says completely escape harm unscathed. Would that affect the group?
No,
like if we're like, all right, we
that's
got the
for you.
Mandalorians.
Is that a
Now
move
we-
or a thing?
And now we leave. It's
Yeah, that's
my
for
gear.
you. You're a little scamp.
Okay.
And I killed Scratches, too.
See, if you give him the Wampa so he escapes or something, and then that's
I could give it to them and then follow them.
that probably.
Anyway, the Wampa has
Uh-oh.
been taken care of. You successfully defeated the Overlord's plan by dint
Yeah.
of the nemesis and you guys working together for once in your goddamn lives.
Yeah,
So you're going to call them all. You're just going to call them all. You're just going to call them.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do a hollow call instead of like walking.
Scene
in.
swipe, Maul's on scene because he has teleportation powers because of the Spider and Snake Alliance.
Does Maul know that I'm your informant?
You
Well,
tell me, Peter.
I mean, you can always explain everything here. There's some people that don't want to talk with you, Maul.
All right, Darth Maul walks in. I say Darth Maul because you can, put in your heads what just happened, what just came on in. So he walks in with his droid legs, his hands behind his back, his troopers like all down on their hands and knees with their foreheads touching the ground.
I just do that. Like it's programmed. It's just a thing.
Well, my apprentice, what do we have here?
We have some group of people that would like to do business with you for the safety of those Mandalorians over here.
Well, I'm an honorable and true ruler, and I'll always listen to my subjects. He gestures over to Cass when they beseech their one true king. So, of course.
uh, oh great and mighty
Maul
Maul.
can definitely feel because it's not is notably quiet, but Maul can feel the blind rage fuming off of him right now.
Yes, feed me more.
Right?
I cherish this.
You were saying, Lamb.
So, great and mighty Maul, we come here to beseech you for the freedom of these Mandalorians who are unjustly taken from Hoth, separated cruelly from their people under the machinations of Steelhead.
Good guess, Maul says. That's an A+ guess right there. He walks over to one of the spinning gyroscopes and gives it another twirl with one of the Mandalorians in it. Well, I suppose I could give them up for a price.
I will literally take one of the bags of tokens, the precious thing that you've given us, and toss it at his feet.
He's like, no. I need something I want.
Don't suggest demon blood. Don't suggest demon blood.
I wait for him to
Monologue.
give us an example because he's going to keep talking. I know this.
He's like, look, I can take or leave it. Just, what do you got for me?
It'll be funny, I say, as I talk sense.
I know I have information about people. If you're looking for someone specific,
He turns.
Uh-oh. Das ist one thing.
Tell me, Kaminoan, what do you know about Clone War era generals?
I contacted several of them. Can I have a specific name?
There was a Jedi, a few of them, but any one of them would make an excellent reunion. You know, a Skywalker or a Krell or a Kenobi. Any of those?
I take out my tablet, I access my log of hacked information, where I know the names and faces of your prey,
Have you
including their sins and their worth.
have you ever hunted Obi-Wan Kenobi? Because he has no sins.
No, not Obi-Wan Kenobi. No.
Obi-Wan Kenobi has done nothing
But,
bad in his life.
I mean,
Yeah.
Skywalker did an awful lot of terrorism and war crimes during that
He
war.
rolls his eyes.
Kenobi's the one who signed for the release of the troops.
What troops?
Yeah, no. The Clone War. The clones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the one who
he and
found the
Anakin-
clones of Kamino.
Yeah, they were like, "These are your clones, right?"
Yeah,
He's like,
that's why I'm
"Yeah,"
here.
and they're like, "Cool, sign here." And he's like, "Cool, General Obi-Wan Kenobi." Like,
He's he's looking over some of the data you got.
Scrolling through the Rolodex.
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
you could probably just command lore and be like, "No, we all know who that
yeah.
guy
The Kaminoans all know
Yeah.
who Obi-Wan Kenobi is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I know. I know. I'm familiar with all those names, including
Obi-Wan
Crown.
Kenobi is famous for two things: the whole Clone Wars clone troop thing among the Kaminoans, and famous among everyone for being on Mandalore when he fought off Maul and drove him off that first time. I think. No, he was never driven off Mandalore. Obi-Wan had to escape. Obi-Wan is the Jedi that failed to save Queen Satine's life from Maul murdering her. He's the dude that's the reason your entire civilization fell twice.
Yeah, huh? Also, Maul.
I mean, that's incidental.
He is famous for cutting Maul and for killing the Sith Lord Darth Maul. That did come up.
No, Maul is also one of the people who's responsible for my civilization falling twice.
Ah, my dear sweet warrior. But isn't it really more Kenobi's fault for allowing evil to take over when he was right there and could have stayed my dark saber blade?
Do you have what you want?
Well, I'll tell you what. You Mandalorians, some of your chapters have what's called a hero quest, a sort of inviolable cultural bond promise nonsense thing. Why don't you and I engage in a hero quest pact? We'll recreate some ridiculous story from your history where two sides join together briefly to get what each other wants. You agree on whatever your culture has, your name, your honor, your family, your honor, blah, 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 to do me a solid. And I'll just let you have these Mandalorians. I'm a generous king.
What sort of favor do you want?
I'll release 2 of these people to you now, and the third upon your delivery of one General Kenobi.
This guy's in melee range.
Yeah, should we try and just strike him down?
That
right
would
now?
be a terrible idea. I'm just saying.
It would. It probably would.
We're
at the
surrounded by
same
so
time.
many goons.
I mean,
It'd be so great.
do it.
What could Devin do? He doesn't have a move to kill us. We're
It's
invincible.
It's all on you, Void. If you side with us, we can do it. If you don't, then we're probably
I could take you all out, which means you guys get taken out of the scene, which means you guys wake up in jail, and it's the beginning of most Elder Scroll games.
I think if
Oh, good,
I
you're
think
away.
if all that's for anyone who wasn't partially responsible for the fall of Mandalore and also a sorcerer who I hate, I would probably say no. But Cass just kind of slowly nods.
He puts out his hand to grab your van brace, and you grab his, so you're not holding weapons, even though your van brace is a weapon. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
He's like, "Deal. Pick your 2 favorites."
So who are the ones that we haven't gotten yet?
The Scald, the Librarian, and the Heavy.
ask them which one wants to stay behind.
Yeah, basically.
Probably better.
No, that wasn't the deal. You pick your 2 favorites.
You're playing Cass choice.
Kess will probably choose the Scald and the Librarian because he figures the Heavy can probably hold out.
It's a good guess. The Heavy's pretty tough.
Yeah.
All nods. He's like, take him off. Take our honored guest off of this machine. We won't use sorcery on him. We'll give him guest quarters. And he just nods his head crowned with horns and get out of my house.
As we leave, Kess is gonna turn, stare him right in the face, and I'm gonna spend the faces of those 2 who are wrong to prepare him another nemesis of mine.
That's fair. Maul, the fallen king of Mandalore.
Oh man.
So scene swipe. Those Mandalorians are going to be on a ship taken somewhere. We'll get to them. But scene swipe to Gorgon the Hutt's palace. And yeah, Chevron Laser React is there on like a little throne next to his mom, and she's like, "Yes, you brought my son back to me." I can't remember the voice. It's possible.
Big and pompous.
Oh. I shall reward you. You will get exactly what you deserve. And she moves her hand over a button that says Death Pit over to Reward.
Reward pit.
Yeah, you guys are dropped into a pit full of tokens and may take 2 precious each worth.
Nice.
Hey.
So does this include the 2 precious I already have and haven't spent?
Yes.
Okay, I have a lot of precious now.
Yeah, for buying friends.
I do wonder if I could have stayed behind since I'm like technically employed there.
You will also form fellowship with Gorgon the Hutt and her god family, crime family empire. Yeah, and if you take a rebellion move, this becomes a new base for the rebellion.
We will probably be doing that in downtime.
Yeah, I'll pitch it, and we'll figure it out for next season, because this is the season finale. You guys square off against Maul. Maul seems to be your guy. You know what? You guys met Maul, Tora, and Void Within Without. You guys met like all of them and hung out with them.
Yep.
Until we get number 4 and Steelhead.
Yeah.
Could we forge a bond with Maul?
Whoever suggested Kenobi can forge a bond with I have what he wants.
Yeah, that would be me.
Because you fucking did it. He was all like, I don't have any weaknesses. I'm above this all. And he was just like, wait, what? What was that? What was that last bit?
What?
If he was the Overlord, he would literally, the first custom I take would be who told you that for his weakness, because his weakness would be something stupid like fossilized demon blood. And he's like, what? It's just rocks I spray paint and throw in garbage dumpsters. And you're like, and it's like his real weakness is Obi-Wan Kenobi and knowing where he is. I once thought this game out as if he was the Overlord and he was trying to recruit you guys constantly. And once Palpatine showed up, he would just join your group as the Empire would take over. He'd be like, we're all friends now. And you're like, go away. I'm begging you, Satan Grandpa, go away.
Wait, I just realized this game is taking place leading up to episode 4.
It is.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
The Death Star and the destruction of Alderaan is coming. Like,
More
Rogue
importantly-
One, it's going to happen soon.
More importantly, we don't know where Kenobi's going.
Yeah.
We better hope he's still on Tatooine.
Well, like, if you get him to Obi-Wan Kenobi early enough, Obi-Wan kills him and the timeline is preserved. That's what happens to him. Obi-Wan kills him in a sword duel. Like, a fucking Iijitsu samurai one-stroke kill duel.
Obi-Wan
It
will
was a
say,
very
like,
good scene in
when
Clone Wars.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan will
for
be
sure.
like, Obi-Wan would be like, you know, when we first met, I was but a Jedi Knight, but now I am a master.
Yeah, that's exactly what it'll be like.
If you strike me down, I'll become more powerful.
Yeah, so
Possibly.
you guys will set up camp here. You'll return back to the Mandalorians. They'll like cheer you when you bring back their cultural leaders. The Skald knows all about the Mandalorians' history with their ancient sorcerer enemies and has artifacts from them. And the Librarian's basically the actual leader of the entire chapter, and is hinted they might be Force sensitive, but it's never really confirmed because they're a librarian from Warhammer 40k, which means they're a psyker. That's why they're called a librarian.
Okay.
Do you guys want to have any scenes with these guys before we move on to the last scene of the episode, or are we ready to wrap?
It's getting kind of late, so
Yeah, so I think
All right, so everyone's cheering you, congratulating you. You guys are the biggest heroes in the world. You stopped this plan from happening. Like, you stopped it dead in its tracks. They do not get the crime organization contracts for all criminals on Nar Shutta forever, so you won't face endless organization threats. You did it, and you made friends with Gorgon the Hutt and her son. What a resounding victory. So, Void and Maul, you are called back to Steelhead's capital ship.
Well, I guess we go there.
Do you bring your robot? Do you bring your droid with you?
You mean Stitch?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to be there, Stitch? Then yes.
Okay, so you walk into the triple meeting room. Steelhead's there on his guillotine throne. His throne's like a guillotine that he could push someone's head down into and cut their head off because he's all about that shit and put a robot head on, blah, 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 blah. To describe his head, it is like triangular facing forward and has like multiple rows of eyes on it, like a spider that are irregular and shift up and down in like rail sockets, basically. And as you come in, he's like, my apprentice and my conspirator. How delightful that you've both answered the call. And he like Maul rolls his eyes and goes over to his spot when Tora, you can hear her coming down the hallway. Now, this is official business, my apprentice, so I'm going to have to ask you to leave as we're about to welcome a new member in. And he like gestures for you to vamoose. And Maul looks at you, gives you a knowing look like, see?
I just nod to him, sigh, and just leave.
The door slams open and Tora's like, you fucking sit down. Like, she's laughing too. Like, she's just like giggling. You see her makeup's running because she's crying from laughing too much. And she's kind of like just like getting these like snorts and cackles like the woman from WandaVision, like Agnes or whatever, with her cackle. Like, you sit down. I withdraw my. You know what? I vote that he gets to stay, so it's no longer a deadlock. I break the arbitration. He gets to stay. It's only fair. It's only fair. And Maul looks visibly uncomfortable with this. This is a mess. And Steelhead just looks to you. Well, my apprentice. Perhaps I should rethink our relationship, seeing as you might deserve a seat at the table. And Tor's just laughing at that, like pointing and laughing. And she grabs you and sits you down in her seat. It's like, no, I can't sit. If I sit, I'm going to lose it. You sit in my seat. This is fun.
I sit comfortably.
Steel, it's like, so I take it your venture to retrieve the Starkiller Project went without a shut up. It's funny. It went without a hitch. It worked. We have him. Well, we have it. We have the Starkiller Project. Unfortunately, I might have thought it out. My bad. I just couldn't help it. The tech was old. And Maul's like, I thought we agreed we'd talk about this before releasing the project. Whatever it may be. It's like, oh no, it didn't work out. Sorry, Half Man. My bad. What are you gonna do? Fall down a pit?
I ask, what?
She like
What is
leans
it?
on you. What is it? Gets real close to your faceplate. Oh, it's my favorite thing in the world, ladies and gentlemen, of which I am the only one of both. I present to you Steelhead's personal new protege, the new member of our group, the Starkiller Project. And like a figure walks in brown robes, their droid feet clicking against the metal, one gold and Beskar droid hand gleaming against the light, and their legs are made of Beskar and gold as well. A lightsaber at their hip, that's the Kylo Ren crossguard lightsaber, but it doesn't have a red blade to it. They walk forward, put their droid hand at their hood, and pull back their head, revealing General Skywalker, his mane of lion hair blowing in an unseen breeze as he stands there, hands on his hips. Now, I hear you have a Sith Lord problem.
Excuse me?
And Steelhead, like, you can see
Dun,
his hands
dun.
gripping the chair as Tor's just laughing. She, like, leans onto Stitch and, like, is using you as support. She's just cackling. Just fucking cackling.
Stitch joins her in laughing, but it's that same laugh that he was giving with the
Right?
probe droid.
Maul is sitting on the ground, cross-legged in his space, not quite sure how to react to this, as Anakin fucking Skywalker walks in, ready to join up and fight the Sith. You got, and you know who he is, Pete, because you fought in the same war against him. Any response?
That's surprising.
Life's full of surprises. And Sith Lords, he snaps his fingers at Maul and then at you, Void, are kind of my speciality.
I see.
And we'll star wipe away from that and end the season. Na 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 na.
That was
Right, credits start rolling. There's a mid-cred sequence where above Hoth, a Imperial Star Destroyer whoops in above, and like ships and droids start dropping, and a black cloaked figure starts walking through the snow to the signs of the battle, breathing heavily. And we cut. I was Devin.
I was Adam.
I was Jack.
And Peter.
That was Jonathan.
And this is sponsored by nobody. Signing off.